Oh man, guess what, baby? Call the police. We are back in town. Go get the lifeguards. Sharks are in the waters. We're out here from the deep. We are back, boys. You know what? We enjoyed the off season. We did. We had a great time. The last time you guys heard us, we were doing draft episodes. Shit was all cool. We thought we were sweet. You know what? We're back to the nitty gritty ways of being goofy and silly. But we brought some guys with us. They stayed with us. We're on the Oregon Trail now. We got some newcomers joining us on the wagons. We got
Yeah.
TJ and Eric in the fucking house. We have a full barn complete. We got the cows. We have the fucking goats. We don't have any sheep. Not in this fucking group. Let's go, baby. All right, I'm gonna go around the circle. We'll go to let's go to the new boys first, and we'll hit it around the OGs. Eric Wheeler, how we living, buddy?
Good, brother. Excited to be back. Excited for fucking football finally to be back, bud. Let's
Oh,
fucking
let's go.
roll.
Let's go. You guys just heard the voice of one of the brains, dude. They say there's a left side of the brain, the right side of the brain. Well, you're about to hear the other side of the brain. TJ, how are we living, brother?
What's happening, fellas? I'm glad to be back.
Oh man. For those of you listening, man, this is that voice is gonna be electric in your ears, bro. Over the year, it's gonna be electric. He's gonna have some shit to fucking pop off on. But let's go back. Speaking of voices, we can't see him today. Sadly, we can't. But it's because he don't want to see y'all motherfuckers, to be honest with you. And you know how he feels. He's hot and ready in the oven. He's like a fucking $5 Little Caesars pizza. Mike Clark, how we living, brother, man?
Pizza, pizza. That's how I'm living, baby.
I'm gonna write down each one of his one-liners this year because he always had something crazy to say when I do that. Oh man, and looping it around to the OG of OGs, the coach himself, the coach himself. He's out here. You know what? If it was his choice, he'd be in a suit on the sidelines, bro. Fucking vibing out, but with a Texas bow tie, not fucking normal bow tie. Keegan Lowe, how we living, brother?
Living good, brother. Personally, I'd probably rock the old Jim Trussell, dude. Give me that vest, dude. I'd love that. That's what I'd go with. But anyways, yeah, man, been good. Got the week 1 win over Norwalk St. Paul, so that
My
was good.
boy.
And we're going into Fostoria. Hopefully this week we learn to finish a game and put them away, especially in the second half.
Let's
Should be a
fucking
good.
go. Well, some of the things you guys are hear from Keegan this year, we're gonna try. I didn't really promise this to y'all because I wasn't trying to make empty promises, but we got a handful of coaches in our friend group that coach around the Ohio area that are dogs with some pretty fucking unique teams. We get to see some fun playoff football most of the time, and just see some good football. And there's a lot of good football going back at home. So we're gonna have some high school football episodes down the road with some real coaches, some nitty gritty guys like Keegan, Andrew. Hell, fuck, I'd love to see Stony Baloney on here. That'd be fucking electric, dude. Let's get
Yeah.
after it. All right, boys. As we get ready in the football season, I like to give a little layout in the beginning of the pods because we're gonna yip yet. And also, you may not know this when it gets posted, but it's a little late at night. Your boy just got done with the show, and these boys been waiting for me patiently. And you might hear some yawns, but you're gonna hear some opinions between the yawns. We're gonna start with some college football first. Start looping in, getting ready for the weekend, bro. A lot of us are based in Columbus, so we're gonna have a fucking blast. Talk about that. And then we're gonna loop back around to the NFL down the road in this pod to get ready for next week. Some off season shit. Everyone knows what's popping off with Parsons and all that. And then I'll do my best to jump around the group. So if any of you listening, if you hear us kind of yelling over each other today, we're getting in the groove of things. We're finding the highway. We're just riding each other's ass sometimes. But as we get ready for the college football fucking season, actually, I think I should do the share screen. Clark, you still want to do that for me? Or you can't?
I don't think I'll be able to with the old phone device.
Oh, yeah. Fuck it. I don't even have to. I was going to say, what games do we have cooking today? Hold on. Let me get it going to myself. Give me a second, people. I usually suck at this. This was always Clark's thing because he's smarter than me. You guys see my screen?
Yep,
Oh yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's go. See, boys, we ain't that dumb. We ain't that dumb. Football week 1. Look, you guys get to see the search too. That'd be kind of dope. Edit that down.
Yeah, that history, boy.
This is Emily's Google. Thank God.
Oh,
Yeah, it's safe.
Shit, well, we found something there. We turned this off, baby. Oh no! See me disconnect. No. Oh God. All right, I just got a couple of fucking games up here, but we ain't got to worry about listening to the board. If you guys want to tell me to scroll down or not, whatever. I just got it up there for point of reference for our own brains. But moving around the group, I'm just gonna hit it off the top. What are we excited? What are we excited for? like preseason wise, thought wise, team wise, people wise, before we're getting too many specifics about each game that we're excited for. Like what we fucking getting ready for this year, man? Last year was electric, 12-team fucking playoff, fucking breaking boundaries in fucking history. And this year I think it's gonna be the same way. Teams are more even than ever. Let's be real. Like it's gonna be wide open in a big fucking way. But how we feeling, boys? Whoever, first come, first serve. Let me lay it up. Buffet.
So for me, just because I'm a Brown sicko always, I'm most excited to watch the quarterbacks, multiple quarterbacks, and that's just what I'm keen on. Obviously, I'm Ohio State sicko. I'm going to the game that started. I can't wait for that. But yeah, week one's loaded, man. We're lucky to have a week one. Like, when was the last time? Like, I can't. When was the last time we had a game like Texas Ohio State to kick off a season, man?
Yeah.
I guess
for
we had
real.
Michigan, Texas, but everyone knew Michigan wasn't like on that level last year. But Ohio State's considered to be on that level again. So I think that's a crazy week one kickoff. And there's a couple others I'm sure we'll get into. So I'm excited, man.
It reminds me when we were kids. I mean, TJ's kind of got a brain for this. What was that year? I think Ohio State played Texas or USC week one. It was something weird. It was like back almost Troy Smith days.
Oh,
09.
yeah.
Might have been Texas.
They did play Texas early a few seasons. I don't necessarily know if it was week one, but it was definitely like the first 3 weeks. There was always an early Ohio State Texas game. I believe it was Colt McCoy. It was that era. They played each other quite early in the season.
Fucking electric. And shout out to you, Eric, for fucking getting up in that fucking stadium. Dude, before we get to the next guys, bro, you all saw, I just spent my time in the fucking behind enemy lines. For those of you listening and watching, I went to Ohio State Stadium last week as a Notre Dame fan, repping the Irish. My mother-in-law is a usher for Ohio State, which is pretty fucking sick. Actually, we all could be ushers because of that shit, which would be dope. But you don't pay me enough to watch each one of those games. But I was in enemy lines. I was on the field and everything. And I'm not gonna lie, like being like a fucking football guy and a blue blood lover, dude, like you could see they have like a little flag over the year for the new year, like to unveil it. And seeing that up there covered, dude, all of us were looking at, like some of the pictures of me pointing was that. And I'm like, dude, that's like it felt surreal to be in a stadium of a champion in college football nationally.
Like that recent too. Like
yeah, like
back, yeah.
you know, like just to be lucky enough to live somewhere close enough to have that fuck experience and go hang out. And I was behind that shit, dude. I was in the locker room, the recruiting room. I get to see what you boys got fucking cooking, baby. Man, that shit does something, baby. Some of the old dudes were looking at me thinking, man, who does he think he is? But honestly, it's a good thing I'm a Notre Dame fan because I feel like Ohio State fans, you know, if I were Michigan, dude, that would have been awful. Up next, boys. Well, anybody else excited for the fucking year? What we got going? I'm yip yapping.
I mean, shoot, I'll be quick. I mean, how can you not like the Ohio State Texas game, man? I mean, that's going to be the biggest highlight, I feel like, of week one right now. That's what a great way to start off the season. I mean, Oregon's got a chump game. I can't even remember the team that we're playing freaking right now. I know that we're going to kick the shit out of them.
Montana State.
Montana State. Yeah, there you go.
Upset alert.
Oh, God, I hope not. I know, watch me say some shit like that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saving that clip. I'll post that bitch, bro. What, you know, we're fucking some band, dude, Appalachian State, Michigan, all over. I mean, you guys got a lot of turnover.
Ready, Dan Lanning. Come on.
You know, we'll get more into this, but to leave a comment off, Oregon, man, like, they remind me a lot of, like, in a weird way of Notre Dame right now. Like, you know they're going to be legit. You know they're here. Last year was a great year. Regardless how you guys finished it, that was one of the best teams in the playoff, and they got fucked up by the format. They shouldn't have been playing Ohio State right away, especially with teams like Boise State floating around. You know, that wasn't fair. But at the same time, like, dude, like a lot QB turnover with certain key players. But Dan Lanning and fucking Coach Freeman, like that's about as good as it gets for young guys. And we'll get more into matchups here soon. My boy fucking, you know what? I'm going to call him out because he won't say nothing first. Mike Clark. What are we excited for, man? As an Irish fan even, you know, I got a lot of things to say of what the year's going to be like, but is there anything that you're excited for?
I am excited for the Notre Dame game. I got my family coming over to my place Sunday night to watch, so I'm pretty excited. It'll be a good time. You know, it's nice not having work Monday. Can really enjoy the game. Game I'm really interested to watch is going to be LSU Clemson. Two higher rated quarterbacks coming in next year's draft. I think we're going to see Clemson's defense is fucking stacked. I don't know much about LSU's defense as of right now. So I'm interested to see how LSU's quarterback does, because he's really kind of flown up a lot of draft boards for this upcoming season, and I don't really watch him much, so I can't give a good opinion on it. But I'm interested to see how he does. I think it's gonna be a great game. And like some other weird team, like I'm interested to see how Bryce Underwood does with Michigan this week. I think they got like New Mexico State or some odd school they're playing, just to see how he does. I watched him a lot in high school, like a lot of his film, and he is fucking unreal. So like I'm excited to see how that translates to the big game. So
Superstar, man. It's been
yeah,
a while since we've had some named, like, real, like, we have named guys, right? Like Arch Manning. We're gonna get
yeah,
into that. Like there's some named guys floating around, man. We got a couple. Like I feel like college football the last couple of years, even though college football was great, ever since like the Bryce Young years, it just feels like we don't have that pop. And Bryce Young was a dog, like winning the Heisman. No, don't get me wrong, but like it didn't have that. Like, we grew up in a different thing with Tim Tebow, Cam Newton. Even Troy
real
Smith.
stars.
Even Troy Smith popped around here. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like shit
Oh,
was different, man. Like
bro,
wait, Mark Ingram popped.
I could go for a year about like superstar quarterbacks from when we were kids. Like you had Case Keenum, Colt Brennan, Kellen Moore, even like Jeremiah Masoli for
yep.
Oregon before he got popped. Like that era of quarterbacks was so rich.
Dude, swear. And like even like I watched the highlight of like I know I bring this up, it won't be the last time. You boys will yell at me one day and I hope you do. But Juice Williams, I mean, what are we talking about?
Oh yeah, baby.
Like I looked at the roster of that Illinois team. It was fucking stacked with NFL talent, which
Yeah,
makes the upset not nearly as like awesome in my brain. Like I always thought like Juice just did that shit. Then I looked at the whole squad. I'm like, oh my god, this might be the best Illinois team until like this year. That's fucking stupid. I just realized. For you listeners, you don't know some of the stuff we prepped for this. I was supposed to ask these guys their favorite teams and shit. Um, and I just got so fucking excited. So we'll get to that later because I think it'll be fun to explain like who everyone really roots for. So if you hear a little bit of bias in their voice, you really get the background a little bit more. Because you're gonna hear us get pretty fucking passionate about certain teams. That even some of the teams, if you haven't listened before, like the Lions, like, oh no, dude, that's real. That's real in this group. Like this ain't no fucking joke up here. The Browns, oh yeah, the Browns live and die in this group. Like it's just the way it goes. I gotta say that because when you talk about Niners, we'll get to that in a second, but I just have to. But TJ, man, going off of that with your thoughts about fucking QBs and shit, what are you excited most for this year, college football wise, players, teams? Like, what's popping in your eyes?
Fellas, first of all, Friday night is like Christmas Eve to me, man. We got so many big games this weekend. It's going to be hard for me to sleep. And I really appreciate that they're spread out Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And, I'm a Buckeyes diehard. We could talk about that all day long. But what I appreciate more than anything this year is all of the weird situations all around college football, between transfers, between new coaches, new OCs. The game that's really catching my eye, a little bit of a sleeper, is UNC and TCU on Monday night in prime time. Billy Belichick, Billy football, his first game in charge at UNC. And I am absolutely fascinated at all of the variables and possibilities. UNC, just in this off season, has got 71 new players. You got 41 in
Jesus.
the portal, 41 guys in the portal, and 30 guys in high school. You got Bill Belichick, who everybody knows, from Patriots dynasty fame, coaching Tom Brady, giving the keys to Browns legend Freddie Kitchens on offense, to Freddie Kitchens OC. You got Gio Lopez, who is about as far away from Tom Brady as you could possibly build a quarterback. The kid is 6 foot, left-handed, mobile, dual threat. Just everything about the UNC situation is really enticing to me. And I would be a fan if UNC was good, because I'd really like to see the ACC kind of reestablish themselves as being like a real football conference, as opposed to like Clemson parading down the street and running everybody over. you know. So I'd say that's my game of the week. UNC TCU.
You know, I saw a thing. Oh, you guys probably did too, but isn't it kind of interesting with the? It's kind of a Deion Sanders feel. Deion Sanders' first game was against TCU as well,
Yeah.
and they upsetted TCU, and
Yep.
that kind of like put them on the map of like they're here. If Bill Belichick does that, it's gonna be electric, like on ESPN and all that. Like it's gonna be exactly kind of the same gig. And now I'm not in the world or the environment of comparing Deion Sanders' coaching ability to Bill Belichick. Like you know what I mean? But when it comes to pop, man, like I love the TJ. You texted earlier about that game. I love that game because that's got that fuck. We talk about stars and pop. You talk about Freddie Kitchens. Like, well, we're bringing up names now. You know what I'm saying? We got Lombardi in the background, fucking maneuvering his NIL deals. Like it's either gonna be an experiment that works so good that we're all gonna laugh when we watch the documentary of people doubting it, or it's gonna be an experience that's like Johnny Manziel-esque with the Browns.
Well,
Yeah.
there's too many variables, like to even have a clear picture. Like look at Ohio State's roster, all the guys they retain, all the transfers coming in, guys leaving. You can look at Ohio State's roster and go, yeah, they're going to be pretty good. The UNC like entire situation is so confusing to me. Like you have a generational, I would say probably top 3 coach ever, top 2 coach ever, if not the best coach ever. Uh, and you have that like level of like attention to detail being brought to a college football program that they're looking at building UNC into like a prep school for the NFL, and really turning guys from high school players into having real professional habits, as young men.
Yeah.
And then you have the variables of the 27-year-old succubus inside Bill's head and walking him around. And it's like, yeah, he's the greatest coach ever until the Wicked Witch showed up and everything was ruined. Like I don't know whether to predict a UNC 10-win season or a 3-win season. Because honestly, either situation could totally happen.
100%. And did you see the fun fact? I think today I saw it or yesterday. They're trademarking Gold Digger.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like him and his wife are trademarking Gold Digger to make like their own product for like jewelry and shit.
Oh,
How
man.
that's fucking hey, if Bill's playing in like, kind of like that WWE turning heel thing, bro. And he wore all the rings at the fucking ceremonies this past year. Dude, I need some fucking evil villain motherfucking Bill Belichick, dude. That's what I fucking need in this
Or he
world.
likes that shit and Coach Bill ain't who we thought he was, man. That shit going to be in the public eye, man. And now the first game is going to be the telling factor, because if he shows up and he's got the cutoff hoodie, and the shitty pants on the sideline, that's cool. If Bill shows up to week 1 and he got the tucked in white dress shirt with a windbreaker and a tie, you're going to know something's up.
That's you know what? That's such a fucking I was dude windbreaker to fucking you know what, dude? I hope his hair's done too, like she did it. You
That's
know?
what I'm saying, man. Like she's picking out his clothes for him in the morning.
It's
The Bill we
gelled and
know,
spiked.
Bill we know might not be around anymore, man.
Hey, you're talking to a certified Tom Brady appreciator and hater. Um, I am. I'm a Tom Brady appreciator and hater, and Bill Belichick got him those rings, and I hope I could stand by that in the masses after this year. Because, like you're saying, if he's not who he used to be, bro, almost everything I believe and build my shit off of is he's like the base that will crumble my foundation of fucking football. You know what? Before we get off that topic, I want a. This is why we have more people, y'all, because we're gonna get Keegan and Clark are fucking. Them. They're gonna pick and choose. But I want Eric Wheeler's opinion on Bill Belichick legitimately because I don't think a guy like Eric would think that Bill's actually gonna do that well. That's my prediction.
I just have questions, man. Like TJ says, it's gonna be so much fun to watch because I don't know what to expect. And plus, like, what's a successful season for UNC look like? Like I looked it up earlier because I was curious. I didn't know this. Did you know they have the ninth like strongest transfer portal class this year? Like I had no clue that they were that high up. Like they beat out Kentucky and they beat out A&M, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Wisconsin. Like they were right above teams. They were right below Auburn to put in perspective. So I didn't know that. I knew they had a lot leave. I didn't know how much actually came in. I knew that quarterback, but I'm excited to watch it. I want to see like we're really going to see. I'm not going to say we're going to see how good of a coach Bill Belichick is. We're going to see how good of a college coach Bill Belichick is. Like, can he go circles with these? Mostly a lot of younger dudes he's going to be facing, like just younger in general, not just younger than him, obviously, just younger in general. So I don't know. Like I could see it blowing up. I don't know if it will because I think bet and bets Bill Belichick's just stupid. You don't do it. You know, it's like you don't bet against Andy Reid. But I'm excited to watch, man, because I like TJ said, I could see both. I could see 8, 9, 10 wins. I could see 3 wins. I could see 4 wins. You know, it's just I don't know. I just want to see how long, like the one, if it goes bad, how long does he put up with it? Because he's had a success dog. Like, so I wonder if he'll get 2 years into this and be like, yeah, the same for me. You know what I mean? But I can't wait to watch, man. It's going to be, like you said, TJ explained it perfect. It's just, I don't think there's an in between. I think it goes good or it goes bad. And I don't think there's really like a scenario that like both sides are happy at the end of the season.
But I was gonna go. So before we get in the NFL, I was gonna pick off that, Eric. Do you think? So this year is like one of the rarest years in NFL where like, yeah, we had some coaches changes, but I don't feel the hot seats is like hot. Like everyone kind of has a variable that plays in their favor, either a young quarterback. Even Dayball's been able to drag out his tenure, where some guys have been fired in the past for having seasons like he had last year. Bill Belichick has to see that. You know what I mean? He has to see and read the room. He has his inner circles of guys he talks to. His coaching staff is spread out crazy right now. I mean, think about, O'Brien's with Boston College, Patricia's with you guys at OSU. Like, that's kind of like a wild thing. So, like, there's word all over the place. I think a lot of those guys, to me, it makes sense that half of Bill Belichick's staff is now coaching some college ball or random shit. And to me, I just can't help but think, like, there's something cooking there where it's like maybe all these guys are kind of on these lucrative deals and these weird teams because once Bill bounces and he goes to get his team, they all know they got their jobs back. And like you know what I'm saying? And there's certain teams out there, like, I mean, I don't even know who would be a favorite. We'll look into that later of like down the road when coaches start to struggle, like who's actually going to change, who would be a good spot to go to. Because some coaches could save their job this year, without a doubt. And some guys could solidify their first years, especially in Chicago and shit. But anyways, as we go, I wanted to pick your guys' bones and brains regarding OSU. We talked about it. Let's get into it real quick. We have to. It's coming up fast. First game, big noon kickoff. If you guys have any opinions on that, because that's crazy. And Fox Sports might not even be on YouTube TV. I don't know if they've figured that out yet.
Not to cut in, they did sign a temporary extension to get the game for the week.
Hey, that's where, not to cut in. Cut in every time when you got something like that, Michael Clark. Jesus
That's
Christ.
gold.
Hey, that's what you're here for, bro. You're here to tell me people's convictions and breaking news. That's all I need from you. For those of you that like avid listeners, because we got a few of those, they're fucking silly dummies. Dude, Clark fucking be calling out everyone's convictions, bro. I can't talk about nobody. I'd be having childhood heroes get crushed, and I'd have no idea they did some of this shit. Like, I'm watching guys. I just watched Sean Kemp's going to jail now, and fucking
Jay Cutler.
What?
Jay Cutler's going to jail for a DUI.
Oh, that's fine, baby. Adds to the aura. Come on, Jay Cutler. Let's go, baby. Keep drinking and partying, big guy. Fuck yeah, dude. I don't need to know about, like, was it Harper with the Saints? That one was wild. I didn't know nothing about that.
The hardest hitting safety in the league.
That's why I yelled, dude. I screamed. I felt so embarrassed. I was like, dude, this is, I'm like, the hardest hit. I love guys with an edge. No, that guy didn't just have an edge. He had the whole goddamn corner. But anyways, Ohio State, Texas, y'all. Really, Ohio State, Texas. And now when I'm talking about Ohio State, Texas, I'm kind of leaving the floor open of like, does this game literally can set the tone for the whole season, not just for them, but for the whole goddamn NCAA. Like, this shows if Texas is legit. This shows if Ohio State is staying at the level they were last year, because we all can agree that they're going to be amazing. Their team's still great. They still have one of the best players, the best player offensively in the whole world. But, you lose 14 guys or so, was it to the draft or to the NFL? Like that, regardless of who you are, that's a lot of turnover. And that just, you play in the Big Ten. There's too many slippery games there. But Texas, man, like I'll just say this. I'm saying my stuff early so you guys can have the floor. Texas, man, I'm not entirely sold on anybody that has the glorified hype at one. I'm not a. We've all been here. When some people are like unanimously one or two, I kind of. Are we sure? You know what I mean? Like, especially a team that's not used to being one or two. I think as a Notre Dame fan, I can say this. I'm allowed to say this. Some people forget the struggle certain teams had in recent years as a program when they have an amazing traditional program. Like I love Notre Dame. We'll get into Notre Dame Miami, but Notre Dame Miami, I've seen Notre Dame do this before. I've seen them look so amazing because everyone loves Notre Dame and you know what I mean, they're back and but there's holes. Not saying there's there this year. I'm saying for Texas. Now the roster defensively stacked. Everything stacked. But culturally, I don't feel comfortable with certain teams that culturally have not been as significant as a Clemson, as an Alabama, as a Georgia, even as an Oregon. Like Texas hasn't even held Oregon's ball strap. And they keep glorifying these quarterfinal finishes. Also, as a Notre Dame fan, that's not good to do right away. Like right now, as a Notre Dame fan group, we are fucking hungry more than we were ever before because we knew we were this close. That changed the game for us compared to starting last year to this year. Kind of similar to Keegan as a Lions fan, I would say. Like we're like you really once you get real close, like Texas, like you were close, but like and you played a great game against Ohio State, but people still remember what Georgia did to you, and people still remember that Ohio State not only beat you at the end, but like just Ohio State did your ass. Like you just ain't there yet. Like and you keep finishing these quarterfinal finishes. So like I think Ohio State anyways, being long winded as always, baby. I think Texas could win this game, but I'm gonna say if Texas beats Ohio State, I don't I think that makes Ohio State even more of a guarantee to be a better team for the rest of the year. And I think that guarantees that Texas slips a few games if they beat Ohio State. I think it's never bad to win. I just think Texas fucks up if they beat Ohio State. I do. I think that they're going to get so big for their britches and to be able to beat Ohio State in Columbus, I would say used to be impossible. But after what Michigan did last year, I don't really think anything's impossible inside Columbus anymore. Just saying. But anyways, long-winded, went crazy. I hate Ohio State, so I just wanted to make sure I did my homework for that, so you guys didn't think I'm just hating. 'Cause I can't set the tone that year. I'm a good hater. Good haters do their research and hate later. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll see Ohio State. Oh, Ohio State leads the country in 20-yard passes. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Kyle McCord got cut today. you know, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, you guys take the floor. Any Ohio State boys or Keegan, anybody? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll start first. So this game's a tiebreaker. We start with them next season too, but I think it's two wins for each team all time, and they've traded wins each time. 05 Texas, 06 Ohio State, 09 Texas, last year Ohio State.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
they traded wins each time, and Ohio State's won. I think they're 0-1 at home in this records too. I think this game's going to come down to defense. Two young quarterbacks, and like I get the hype with Arch, like I do, but I'm not there yet. Like you said, Jack, I think that name's just you just can't see that name in a Texas uniform and not want to just love it though. You know what I mean? Or like be so intrigued that that's all you want to talk about. So like I'm not trying to hate on them. I'm really not. I just think
Same.
it's two young quarterbacks facing two great defenses. I think it's just going to be, and if it is high scoring, then that would be that. What would that say about those two quarterbacks if that became a high scoring game with Julian Sayin and Arch Manning going against maybe two top 10 defenses at least in the whole country? Like that's so. I think it's going to be a defensive game, low scoring. That's just what I'm expecting. But if it's fireworks too, I'll be there for that because I just I don't know. Like they're both brought back a lot. Texas lost a lot. Ohio State lost a lot. It's just gonna be great. I'm so excited for this game, man.
Caleb Downs might have a game of his life against a guy like Archie Manning, dude. Like no joke. That's a terrible matchup for Arch.
Well, think about like that's what I think Patricia's gonna do, man. I think Patricia's coached every scheme there is in the NFL. So I think he's gonna come in and he's just gonna try to confuse the shit out of Arch, which Texas is gonna do the same thing to Sam. They're just gonna say, hey, we're gonna send everything at you until you don't know what you're seeing anymore. And I think Patricia's gonna do the same exact thing. And I don't know if there's any other way to coach that game if you're not gonna do that against a young quarterback. But that's all
No,
I got. Go Bucks.
I see that point of view, and I agree a lot. I think I think it's going to be a game of disguises, is who can get into the opposing quarterback's head, on the defensive side of the ball. Not even necessarily with play, but with scheme, and make this look like this, and really just kind of trying to spin them out And I think with the Ohio State Texas game, the thing that has been kind of rubbing me the wrong way as a Buckeyes fan is I've seen a lot of people talk about the Buckeyes preseason, and the biggest question is Julian saying, like, oh, the Buckeyes are, Julian saying, is running the offense. He hasn't played, very many snaps for the Buckeyes. Uh, and he's the new sheriff in town. But I don't see the same amount of people making that argument for Texas, where, yeah, Arch played a little bit last year, but it was Quinn Ewers' offense. It's Quinn Ewers' team. So when I look at that, like if you remove the fact he's a Manning, if his name was Jeff Smith, are we having that conversation about Texas, or is it just because he's Arch Manning, that people are seeming to kind of ignore that?
I love that. We're going through that right now. I'll be short-winded. CJ Carr with Notre Dame. People have been talking about CJ Carr at Notre Dame for the last 5 years. And I'm not going to lie, after looking at some of the stuff, Clark probably sees it too. From what I'm hearing, Coach Freeman literally said he went with his gut. And Kenny actually played better than him. And Kenny should be the starter by a lot of the players' standpoint. But the Captains were cool with Freeman's choice, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm saying is CJ Carr is known because of his grandfather's Carr, the head coach of Michigan forever. And like he's like a lineage kid, same day as Manning. I love that point because CJ Carr, one of the tiniest, they apparently said today is the tiniest hands in college football right now. Like as a fucking 6'4" dude. I'm like, that's great. Like my hands are bigger than CJ Carr's. That's awesome. But also like the Arch Manning point, it's like, if these guys didn't have these names, would they even get the guaranteed star spot? That's always a question because guys come in Texas and Notre Dame year after year. I mean, if backup at Texas could start anywhere else, that's why NIL is kind of a thing, right? Like that's how this all flows. But what he played against Georgia Southern last year, Arch.
Mississippi State was probably his best game he played a team again. I think that was like a 3-win team.
Mississippi
I
State
think
hasn't
that
been
was
good
the
in
only team
5 years. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think that was the only team that's worth mentioning, though, in the games he played. I could look it up real quick.
Yeah.
But keep
Not
on
enough
going.
people are saying that, TJ. That's a great point. Like honestly, I had that written down. That's a great point.
It's real. I mean, look at the hype and the aura of Arch Manning versus the amount of time we've seen him play competitive football. And like I see stuff all the time like, oh, he's the consensus number one quarterback in any of the drafts of the last 5 years, like he's that significant of a prospect. And I just like I see it. Yeah, and I could totally be wrong. He could be as advertised, he could be worth the hype. But I just think they're reasonable questions to ask. And if you ask them about saying, you also have to ask them about Arch.
I'd like to ask you guys. I think the kid from Clemson has a better chance of being a better quarterback.
Yeah.
He's my favorite current quarterback in college
Yeah.
football. Like if the draft was tomorrow, I'd want Cade Klubnik as the number one pick if there's a Browns picking. Just because he's put it on film where he's already done it. You know what I mean? Like here, I also pulled up Arch's game log from last year. He had more than 12 or more pass attempts in 3 games: UTSA, ULM in a row, and Mississippi State. So it's just he played in like meaningful snaps in 3 games, but none of it was 56-7, 51-3, 35-13. Like you can't like you said, TJ. I kind of think it's disrespectful to some of the other mostly to Klubnik, because that's just the guy I think about when we anoint Arch as like the Heisman and the number one pick already. It's just like, dude, you're skipping a couple people to get there. You put a Manning in a Texas jersey. It's obviously one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest brands in college football. The fan base is huge, so it's just I don't think there's any way it could go. You know what I mean?
We
What
were
were you saying, TJ?
talking like
Oh, there you go.
we were talking in one of my group chats recently about Klubnik, and I said, yeah, like he's my consensus like number one quarterback coming in to this season. I see a lot about Nussmeier, and there's lots of questions about him and Sellers and the whole rest of
Mhm.
Levitt and Aller and all those guys. Cade Klubnik plays with the kind of balls that you would want your quarterback, like your franchise guy, to play with. He's made all the big throws. He can play wild style cowboy ball, or he can run the offense and dink and dunk and really make the right reads. And mobile enough, to get the job done with his feet on third down.
Sorry, I just got a message on my thing. I was like, fucking Emily's number is being used on an iPhone watch. I don't give a fuck, motherfucker. Fuck out of here, bro. I'm busy fucking talking sports, baby.
TJ, I
No.
think you bring up a great point, though. Like, obviously, we've talked about it too, but I really think Club Nick's definitely the dude that should be number one as of right now. And I think this quarterback draft class coming out this year has a lot of question marks, truthfully. I don't think there's really, like, anyone that's really blown. Like, everyone's always hyped up Drew Allar, but, like, he did not impress me at all against Notre Dame, dude. Like, they shut his ass down.
Not one reception from a receiver.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Well, and like you look at it through the lens of the Browns fandom, because me and Eric, and Mike are all Browns fans. I see people talk like, oh, well, they got 2 picks next year. We're just going to pick our franchise quarterback. And it's like, dude, do you realize like we're, Drew Aller taking a shit, Sellers not coming along, and Klubnik having an all right season away from that not being as night and day a decision as, you might guess it to be.
Absolutely.
Especially because you got that other group too. That next year you're gonna have Lagway in that group. If Sellers stays, you'll have Sellers in that group. If Manning stays, you have Manning in that group. So it's just like we're knowing in a QB class already. Assuming Arch is going to be fantastic, assuming Sellers takes that step, assuming Cade stays at the same level. Nussmeier's like the pro, like that's like the prototypical guy right now. Everyone's like, you throw him in an NFL system, he'll be good tomorrow. Like that's what I just see when people talk about Nussmeier. But yeah, sorry, I just had to add to that the quarterback talk.
No, dude, swear. I mean, I love seasons like this because this is where a star gets made. Like this is like how, like I watched a cool little throwback video because my YouTube recommended is crazy. Like it has everything you could think of as a bros bro kind of dumb shit on there, and they were showing an old ESPN snippet talking about all the quarterbacks getting ready for the year that Johnny Manziel is actually the one. He's the one that popped off. And he was not mentioned at all in that. And half those dudes I forgot about. Like we're talking like randoms, and like they were the ones that to us they're randoms now, but to then, like you guys were saying now, like they're
Think
nobody.
about think about this time last year. It was Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers as first round picks. Quinn Ewers was a 7th round pick, I think, and Carson Beck stayed in college, obviously, and went to Miami. It's just like, but this time last year, those were the two the two of the most thought of round one quarterbacks by a mile, and then it all just switched like that. Like it happened so quick, and then you don't remember. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot Mel Kiper had Carson Beck as the #1 pick for like 8 months before for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like that just goes out the window after a bad season because you forget.
Yeah, and even the Carson Beck thing, as a Notre Dame fan, I saw a take the other day that I loved because they were like, "Yo, like everyone's talking about Notre Dame's gonna run Miami over," but people forget Carson Beck was like listed as the best quarterback last year,
Yeah.
and like he's still here.
Jack, if we got a sec, I wanted to bring up one more piece of quarterback drama real quick.
Oh yeah, baby.
I wanted to see what you guys think about Nico Imaliava going to UCLA. So I've been looking at that a lot, and I guess I'm the only person alive that likes Imaliava, like as a human being. I see a lot of people say like, oh, he's an ass, he's a douchebag, like he's a spoiled kid, but I like the dude. I mean, when you watch him play, he's got all the physical tools you need to be a quarterback, and I would argue elite ball placement. He has an absolute rocket. He looks like he's throwing lima beans, like the kid makes incredible throws. But I look at that through the lens of Tennessee and Josh Heupel having like a very user-friendly offense. Tennessee with the super wide offensive game
Yeah.
opens up a lot of doors to be, quarterback friendly. So I look at that. Going to UCLA, they have a new OC, Sunseri, I think his name is Tino Sunseri, who by all accounts is going full in on a pro style offense at UCLA. Like his dad was a coach, his grandpa was a coach. He said he's sticking with the lineage of running the ball and playing hard-nosed offensive football. So I really wonder, like, with the Iamaliava situation, if he's ever played in a pro-style offense and just how difficult that transition is going to be for him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I think. Go
oh
ahead, Jack.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, 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 you're good.
Oh,
You're good.
I think Nico, like, so the one thing like that I'll point out, one is build is I remember I was obsessed with in high school because in high school they listed him at like 6'7". I was like, wait, there's a 6'7" quarterback going to Tennessee who was the number one quarterback in his
Oh yeah,
class.
you
Like,
wanted him at the Browns at one point if he ended up
I
turning
wanted
out. I remember you
I
saying,
wanted Ohio State. I
yeah, oh
wanted
yeah,
Ohio
I
State for
remember
a
you
hot minute.
saying, that shit. Like, yeah, I remember that.
But so like
Tapped
I don't
in.
know if I have any super strong takes on him right now. Like I know UCLA is probably going to be, if they're not bottom half, they're going to be middle, or bottom third. They're going to be middle third of the Big Ten. So I don't know what he's going to have to work with. That OC is, I just looked it up. He's the guy at Indiana last year. I did not know that he was
Yeah.
OC at Indiana last year. So I mean, I'm definitely interested to watch him. I just don't know what he has to work with there. And it's like, are you going to look better at Tennessee or UCLA? It's like you could play better at UCLA and still not look as good because you're just not surrounded with that talent.
Well, and
No,
we're gonna find out what you're made out of because when shit starts hitting the fan and life's getting hard and you've been tossing the rock all around Tennessee, like I- that kid is really gonna have to face adversity, and it's gonna be the classic like can he handle the pressure? Can he
Mhm.
handle the fire? So yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. It's just a confusing situation with a bunch of weird fits.
and let's not forget he was kind of the star of that Tennessee team that played like shit against Ohio State. Like he played his ass off, and he did not look bad at all. Like his stock was still high after that Ohio State game because of his effort. Because also, commentating helps. It's no different than MMA where the commentating makes guys look better in certain situations. If the commentators are loving you even when you're losing, you always look better to the fans. But I was actually going to toss this over to Keegan because of the UCLA thing. So Keegan being an Oregon fan, that transition to Big Ten is weird. Yes, it's tougher than the Pac-12, but I knew Keegan could feel comfortable as an Oregon fan because Oregon, they played against Stanford when they were really, really good. They played against, you know what I mean? They were around the block when Pac-12 still had some good fucking teams with giant. Remember, we would all go to bed back in the day. Next thing you know, you hear an upset happen. And it'd be fucking nuts, like Stanford, Oregon. Keegan knows probably real closely because of the UCLA connection with Pac-12. UCLA, they don't have those ballers like you guys are. They just, as a Notre Dame guy, UCLA was kind of close to being kind of like a rival to us back in the day. There's a lot of cool, close games. Jeff Samardzija, fucking touchdown, game-saving touchdown. That was always like electric. But that was when UCLA had like some real, like they used to be known for a lot of defense. People don't know that. People think of Troy Aikman and guys like that went to UCLA. But no, like their defense had great, like even like Hendricks and guys like random names that played in the NFL even today.
Wow.
They all went to UCLA and they were just dogs. So Keegan could probably say this too. Like, bro, UCLA ain't built like that. What do you think? Like UCLA ain't built like that. Like, and to have an all-star guy go there, they ain't built like that.
No, I agree with you a little bit. I don't think they're like that anymore. And the fall off that I felt like was you guys remember kind of early growing up, like when Ohio State would play UCLA, like kind of early on in the season and stuff like that. And Ohio State kind of started like beating them and getting away from them like consistently over the years. Like you kind of saw them fade off at that point,
Yep.
which it makes it really interesting that now that they're in the Big Ten and they get to face all these teams all the time and still get to play like Oregon and stuff like that. But I felt like we've been handling them the past few years and stuff like that. So I'm not too scared about it. It is a whole different system, though. I think going from that Tennessee to going to UCLA offense, especially with the freaking how wide Tennessee does that shit with their splits at wide receiver and everything. Like those are long throws and everything that you've done before and everything. Like at UCLA, I think that everything's going to be more like normal splits, everything like that. Yep, I know they like to run the ball, so they're going to be pretty like balanced with it and stuff. So we'll see how he adapts to it, but I mean, they'll still be a good, solid team. I bet that will still be a tight game. Can't sleep on them, but we'll see how it goes. I was gonna say, you never know till you start watching ball. So
Exactly. Now I'll segue to Keegan real quick because I have some Oregon questions. I thought that was a good little lead up there
real
because.
quick, can I ask the question
Oh
before we
yeah.
skip
No,
over the
you
Ohio
can't.
State
Fuck
thing?
off.
I was just letting you guys ramble, but I have this question: who has more like returners on defense, Texas or Ohio State, like
Ooh.
upperclassmen wise?
I think so. Texas has an edge. It was a two freshmen last year. Something Simmons, I think his name is. He had like 9 sacks as a freshman last year.
Okay.
He's back. They lost that corner that got drafted to Denver, I think, Jade Barron TJ, is that sound right?
Yeah, Barron.
Yep. He's gone. They got a good
Makuba.
safety, something Wingo, I think his name is, right, or is that the receiver I'm thinking of?
Steve Wingo? No,
I think it's Ryan Wingo or something like that. They're returning a lot.
oh yeah, that was the kid I used when I played against y'all in the league, baby. Come on now.
Yeah. So I think it's, I don't know. Ohio State's returning down, so it's like that. I don't think they have a player like that. Pass rusher might be, and then I think they have a good D tag. They lost more on defense than I think they did on offense, though. Although they lost both their number one receiver, both their receivers and their running back, and their quarterback. I think they return in more offensive linemen too. Ohio State returns 3. I think Texas returns 4. Right? Maybe both tackles got drafted. I was trying to find that today. It's actually kind of hard to play. Also, I did not know, before we get off the Nico talk for good, Utah and UCLA are the week 1 game at 11 p.m. on Saturday.
Utah
That's a super fun game.
Utah's got something to prove. Last year was
a litmus test right there. Utah,
because Utah last year was.
I was looking that up because I was curious what their schedule looked like. But
what a fucking bad ending for that one kid's career. Who was that dude that played there for fucking 12 years?
Cam Rising.
Yeah, dude. Everyone thought he was gonna be. Speaking of quarterbacks, there should have been something. That's one right there, dude. You know what? And going off Keegan's question, that's a great question, Keegan, because everyone's raving on Texas's defense. Everyone thinks Texas defense, which is great. But, we were talking about, like, okay, say Ohio. This is the best part of Ohio State. You know what? You guys record. We are recording because I'm going to say something good. I'm going to say something nice. I think you guys have, without a doubt, it's not a hot take. It's not close. But I'll admit it. You have the best offensive player in the country. You have the best defensive player in the country. And I think week 1, when the butterflies are there, especially with the new faces on both sides and the adjustments and transfers, that will make a fucking difference. When you have the best player on both sides of the ball that have been there, done that, dogs, when the shit starts ruffling out and it's going to be a low-scoring game, I think, too, like Eric said, those boys are going to – I think Ohio State has the edge with that. I see a Caleb Downs pick 6, baby, game tutty. Columbus roars. There's riots. People are fucking getting fucking – homeless people are running for their lives. But anyways, let's revert it to so I'll get to Clark with some Notre Dame talk. But Keegan, I got to ask. Yeah. Hey, man, first year in the Big Ten, what a better first year. There's no way you write a better first year. Like now, there's a way to write a better first year.
There was. It was right there.
But when you're talking joining the, without a doubt, 1A, 1B, best conference in the country, with SEC, leaving the Pac-12, which got pretty weak near the end there before you guys left. It wasn't the same as it was like 10 years ago with us. Big Ten champs in the house. You're returning Big Ten champs. In the coolest way, even if Ohio State can put that banner up and be like, we're the returning national champions, you guys get to say you ran the conference still. And that does play a factor. I know Dan Lanny's running that shit down their throats to make sure that confidence is still there. Big quarterback change. I think last year you had the most – we were talking about Arch and that. Last year, Dylan Gabriel, most experienced quarterback in the country when he started the season. Most experienced quarterback probably throughout the year, too. Played so many downs. Also, quality ball. Cam Rising, get the fuck out of here. Not the same conversation. What is your anticipation this year, man, with quarterback changes? Still a good coach. Like I said, reminds me a lot of Notre Dame, where like the pieces are there to still make another run, but the question marks are on the positions you do not want fucking question marks on.
So many question marks. That's why, like, it's nice that we're not playing like a big freaking game or anything on the line, because I'd be way too nervous having all these question marks coming into it. I'm glad that we got a nice, easy game. We get to see how these cats get to perform and everything like that, see how this team's going to be. But, man, it does make me nervous. I mean, they're high expectations now since we won the conference to do good again and everything. And I don't know if we're going to have that, but I trust in Dan Lanning. I hope that we recruited well. And I think that we'll still be a relevant team this year and everything, and relevant in the conference for the most part. But I mean, it's going to be tough. We still got to play guys like UCLA. We got to play Buckeyes, all that.
UCLA's on your mind now, baby.
Yeah.
You know what though? I feel like though, if Oregon, that's not a bad thing to say, because if you're an Oregon guy, like that's a Pac-12 person. I feel like if you play like Texas or Oklahoma's kind of hilarious to me, because Oklahoma dominated that for so long. They joined the SEC. Now Texas is big dogs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just funny how that fucking kind of works out. And you do not want to play a team that's always played you for 100 years. Like, that's never. Look at Michigan, Ohio State. That does not work in your favor. That's why people make fun of Notre Dame's schedule. But I'm like, yo, make fun of Notre Dame's schedule all you want. We've been playing these same motherfuckers for 100 years. They know exactly who we are. They're like, oh, Notre Dame got upset this past week against Air Force. Yeah, for the 73rd game of the fucking series. I'm sorry they finally caught up to us and figured out what was going on. Like, Jesus Christ, give us a fucking break. Jesus fuck.
I will say this real quick with Oregon. I am excited though. Like it is kind of
they're the
nice
dark horse.
Like have a fresh new start, just like see these new guys and everything. Like I hope that they play well and you get some new faces to root for.
To me,
you guys got Ohio State and Michigan on the schedule this year. You guys don't have either of them in your schedule this year. I think the best Big Ten, you have Penn State, but I think the best team outside of that, I think you have Indiana.
They should run it.
I don't know if you play Illinois. Illinois should be. Everyone's
Illinois
calling
good.
This year's Indiana. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
But you dodge Ohio State and Michigan. But I mean, you have Penn State.
Oh, I forgot that.
But still, yeah, it's nice for your second year.
Yeah, and
Lanning loves that.
And they're the dark. I don't want to say dark horse because if you're ranked 7th, how much of a dark horse can you be? Yeah. But when you talk about that Ohio State level, and everyone's really expecting a lot from Michigan this year, I think people are really forgetting that. Like to me personally, and people talk about Penn State. To me personally, it's always going to be Ohio State, Oregon until somebody fucking shows themselves in a big game. Dude. Like, how are we jumping the gun already on hypotheticals? Like,
yeah. The biggest game on our schedule is freaking Penn State, Indiana, and then freaking the other two worry ones is freaking UCLA or UC, and then freaking Washington is what I would worry about because Washington's fucking sneaky sometimes with us.
Oh, it's another Pac-12.
God, that schedule is beautiful. We get all the beat up guys in the fucking Big Ten. Let's go, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like you guys, like how, like to me, it'd be pretty kind. That's a bigger story than what people would say. If Oregon can win back-to-back Big Ten champs, joining them in the first 2 years, that's a big story, dude. That's huge.
Let me ask this take real quick. Just speaking of the Big Ten, because I saw that we're going to play them. How bad do we feel for Wisconsin, dude?
TJ, I know you know about Wisconsin's. I do. I know you know.
They're sick.
Their schedule is awful too, bro.
I thought Fickle would turn. I thought Fickle would have that shit rolling by now. I really did. He got hired there, man. Like his ass probably wishing he stayed at Cincinnati. He would have fared better for multiple years staying there. Like it's.
Probably could have made the playoff in the Big 12.
TJ, I'll ask this because I think you'll know. The talk about Wisconsin right now is they're really, really trying to revert back to what they used to be. Like that's like what they've been trying to make this offseason. I could be wrong there. That's just what I've heard on like podcasts and stuff like that. Like that's what they're trying to go to. But yeah, I know TJ's got something to say about Wisconsin. For sure.
Wisconsin for like 80% of my life was somebody that I looked at with like respect and like with reverence. Because they pulled up with 5 350-pound corn-fed dudes from the heart of America.
We played against one of them.
And they were going to run the ball in a straight line until something happened. Whether they scored or whether, by the grace of God, you were able to grab a shoelace or somebody tripped or something. And I looked forward so much to the Ohio State teams of the 2010s playing in that Michigan game because, you know, we wiped the floor with them a couple times, but it was consistently fireworks. And it was always a game I really looked forward to. And I think certain teams have the formula, like almost like the genetics or like the lineage that Nebraska should run the football. Wisconsin should run the football, prioritize the heavies on offense and defense, and really play that throwback style of ball. Cause I just think it suits not only their like recruiting system a little bit better. You're not going to be able to pull like top end receiver talent, you know, to Wisconsin. It's just not going to happen. So I couldn't see them being successful running a modern, like RPO based, very spready offense. It's just not what they're made out of.
And going off that, their best wide receiver statistically the last 2 years, he's at Notre Dame this year.
Yeah.
Like
he hit the road.
Yeah, like they're not even fucking around with it no more, which I love. That's part of the transfer portal that I love is it's kind of like the NFL. It gets to tell you what's really going on behind the scenes without guessing. And with Wisconsin, like you don't think of them like, all right, if they do have a decent wide receiver, that guy probably wants to be there because there's no reason for him to be there. Like, why not go somewhere else? And then when they leave, it's like, bro. And then Fickle, I love that point, dude. I thought he was a good coach. I always thought he was a good coach. I still think he's a good coach. I don't judge guys on certain things because if you turn University of Cincinnati around, you're a good coach. Like, what are we talking about? But like right now with Wisconsin, that schedule mixed with that. Now I want to go off Keegan's question. I brought this up a little bit in the group chat because to me, I want to explain myself what I was trying to say. So you guys have big brands like USC, Oregon, like that's huge. Even UCLA is a fucking brand. You know what I'm saying? It really is. Basketball especially brings that fucking thunder for them. But one team with Wisconsin that I think is so healthy to college football that no one talks about, Michigan State. Because I felt like for so many years, you're talking about 80% of our lifetime, Michigan State was also right there with Ohio State, with Wisconsin, with Michigan. Michigan actually wasn't even there. That's what makes me laugh when I was talking about the Texas stuff earlier. People think Michigan was always there. No, what Michigan's doing right now with their interim coach stuff, the fact you haven't hired a real motherfucker shows me a million things. That's just so ridiculous. Well, this guy fucking beat Ohio State, but dude, he can't win. Like, there's no winning. Like, how the fuck you keep him? We're blue bloods. Okay, yeah, my blood's purple. I don't know. It's Crete shit.
Yeah.
But like, well, fucking piss. Sorry, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I hate Michigan too.
No. I was just gonna say you put that shit on more record at Ohio State for you. That motherfucker would not be.
That's
right?
and Notre Dame even. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Freeman, I wanted Freeman fired last year. Like get the fuck out of here. Now Freeman's the hottest coach in the college football. I'm like get the fuck out of here. And like it's like Michigan State, man. Now now I don't know if you guys are well versed in this. I was kind of hoping maybe TJ or Eric was, but like they've gone through so many scandals in the last couple of years, so many issues that are so deep rooted that it breaks my heart that teams like that, teams like Wisconsin, like when UCLA and Oregon joined you, the part of the thunder of all that was part of you guys. It wasn't just Ohio State, Michigan. It wasn't Penn State who fucking finally came out of the dirt after Jerry Sandusky for the last 10 years. Like it was Michigan, it was Michigan State, it was Wisconsin. And when you lose that, man, like I'm getting worried. I try to keep more tapped into that as a Notre Dame fan who's an independent. You really pay attention to like how this all works because you're worried and wondering if Notre Dame will join or if the big conference gets made one day. Teams like Michigan State and Wisconsin need to get with the times now because if they don't,
I don't think they will either. With Oregon in it now, like what room are they going to have? Like, because I don't think Ohio State's not slowing down. Michigan, I don't think is going to. They're not going to get worse than they were last year.
money.
Oregon's up there. USC's probably going to get better. I mean, Iowa's been more relevant than both those teams of recent years, and they're not going like. Not that I'm like gonna annoy Iowa some fucking clown or some bullshit. I'm just saying I don't think there's room for them to get to that level in the Big Ten. And if it is, it's a long, long road like Michigan had to get back up to national championship relevancy. You know what I mean?
Real coaching changes.
I just don't
real
know if
culture.
there's room for it. Like the Big Ten just changed, man. That's what it is. The Big Ten changed now, and I don't know if there's gonna be room for them to get back to that level where they're winning 10 games a season. Like
I will say
Washington's gonna be better this year than Wisconsin or Michigan State.
Yeah, and Washington still has a national championship appearance recently.
Yeah, exactly.
Like against Michigan, like that's even the more ironic part of the whole thing. I'll say this, I just heard TJ's voice, but I will say this with that: I'm worried that if Michigan State and Wisconsin and teams like that don't get their shit together, that's where the culture will change dramatically, and you'll see a super conference because the Big Ten was built to have teams like that with it, and you're not SEC level if those teams aren't keeping up with the Joneses. Kind of similar to the way SEC is dealing with problems with Auburn, Mississippi State. They're going through the same thing the Big Ten is because I would compare those teams kind of in a certain way, right? Like they were relevant but not relevant, national championship appearances and shit like that. But like now they're toast. Auburn still doesn't even like who the quarterback is. Like it's so crazy how fast that shit is. Sorry, TJ, I want to make sure you said something because I heard your voice for a second, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's all good, man. I just wanted to rifle off just a few things, man. One, with teams like Wisconsin, I want to know where the slippage was. Like, it seems like over the course of just a couple of years, they went from, a powerhouse Big Ten team to falling right off a cliff. And I just think from a standpoint of money and resources and exposure the TV deals and all this stuff. It's like, man, like I feel like you guys have the resources to be better than you are. They got a big old stadium. They can play big games in the Big Ten. And same thing with Michigan State. It's like you guys have all of the resources to have kept that going, to have been a 20, 30, 40-year successful team. I just don't understand what changed exactly in the way those teams operate. And another thing real quick, I think it's really interesting that we're potentially heading in like a power 3, type situation where every top end team in the entire country plays in the same 3 divisions, and then the rest of college football sinks to the bottom.
And Notre Dame. We just
And
stay
Notre
right
Dame,
there.
yeah.
We just stay right by the 3.
Independence, baby.
Well, if the ACC falls apart, we're definitely staying independent.
You guys
Yeah,
are
I
cool-
just think,
you guys
like-
are the cool cousin you see at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
It's
but like,
legit.
God forbid, like I don't now. I'm in deep, but I'm not in deep enough to know conference deals and TV shit and whatnot. Say like 3 years from now, Clemson leaves the ACC and goes somewhere else. Goes to the SEC or goes to the Big Ten. Like, is the ACC, gonna be able to hold on to kind of
So-
what it's built?
I will go
They'll
back and
probably
forth
just
with
take
you
the
on
Big
this because
Ten.
I'm deep with this because Notre Dame's deal with NBC and following that shit, each contract negotiation.
Hit me.
So ACC is ESPN friendly because of Clemson, and they used to be ESPN friendly because of Florida State and Clemson. And if Florida State sucking right now, all Clemson has to do is bounce, and ESPN loses their whole deal with them because they're actually for their deal here soon too. So if that shit falls apart, that shit falls apart fast, and that's why Clemson is already saving themselves. So they already signed a contract with Notre Dame to play them every year.
Yeah.
And they're doing that I think, hot take with that, watch how this goes. If Clemson doesn't join anybody else, Clemson will be the next independent team like Notre Dame until a big conference is formed. Because of how he runs that program with no NIL transfers.
If Clemson did leave too, don't you think the ACC would just become the conference of like all like the Big 12 would end up joining up with the ACC because they'd have to just
Cincinnati,
go get the volume. You know what I mean?
West
Like, hey,
Virginia.
if we're not gonna have a powerhouse, we're gonna have to go get the volume, and that's where you got teams like you just 2 perfect examples: West Virginia and Cincinnati. It's like, yeah, they might not add a whole bunch, but they add something that you don't got, especially if Clemson leaves. You know,
And
what I
then
mean?
Rutgers goes there probably because that's to be the Big East gets formed again.
Maryland,
That's what you would
like,
see.
teams
Yeah,
like
you
that,
would see that, and then I'll even say, because how much I follow this, I think the MAC is going to have some crazy changes in the next 10 to 15 years. I think they're going to end up getting one of these fucking big programs out of these changes. Like, and if it's a Maryland, if it's a Rutgers,
Minnesota or
Minnesota,
some shit.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, no joke though. Like I think the MAC they're sitting in the most pretty spot no one talks about. They survived the Big East. They survived all the conferences that fell, and they're respected so much by the fan base that the money's there. People turn in for action. That wouldn't even be a thing if that was Mountain West.
Dude, they get their own day each week for college football. They get their own day.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to absorb some teams, make some money off that. ESPN's going to say, fuck the ACC if Clemson leaves. And then that's where you see that. And next thing you know, the MAC is bigger than the ACC. Like, no joke. Like, that's how that shit works. So I love this shit. Sorry.
No, that's cool, bro. I just had one last point real quick. Like, we've seen some teams start to dip into it perhaps like a Tulane, kind of dip their toes in the pool. But I think it'd be a really interesting situation for a mid-level team, say like, I don't know, even like a school like Rutgers might be a little too towards the top, but a middle of the road team really diving
That's the first time that's ever been said, by the way.
Yeah. Ugh,
sorry. Ray Rice, shout out.
You just made so many 3-stars happy.
Yeah, right. But just a team that's going full speed ahead and saying, listen, we can't recruit with Ohio State. We can't recruit with Florida. We can't recruit with any of these big ass schools, South Carolina, Clemson, LSU, all this stuff. Seeing a team and a school really dive feet first into being like the transfer portal utopia, like Island of Broken Toys style, like LSU guy shits out, hey man, come down here. We got playing time. We'll pay you hella money, transfer. And I feel like you could potentially see teams not completely abandon the high school recruiting, but really, really prioritize the portal as the number one way they bring in new players.
I mean, Eric brought up North Carolina. That's how they're building their shit right now. Look at
Yeah.
Colorado, the way that Colorado's still going to be really good this year, actually.
Auburn's one of those teams this year, man, in the SEC. Auburn has like a top 6 transfer portal class.
I love seeing the way the universities have an aspect of this. Because Notre Dame, we get a lot of people because we want the guys that want to continue their education, want to, you know what I mean? Like get that master's degree, and they're smart dudes wherever they were from. Maybe they're the smartest guys on their football team, but they're really good. We get those guys. But I love, and I'm not saying it's anything better. I actually wish that wasn't the case so we can get some studs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why Notre Dame's good right now. We got a lot of dudes wearing gold chains hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Like we got some homies now. But like the thing is, like then you have other teams that maybe their academic standards aren't that crazy, so they can kind of like come to our school. You know, I love seeing that aspect of like the differences in who they pick in NIL, like who they're really aiming for, because they have to go for interest as well, because these kids are all interest based now. That's the whole name of the game, right? Like recruiting, NIL. Like what do we got going on? Like what can I do better? Like you know, oh you led the tackles in New Mexico. I don't care, bro. Give me fucking 25 grand, baby. Like it's just fucking crazy now. But like it's cool to see that with just all of that. But anyways, I just noticed the time and I want to keep it pushing, and I have to do this before we get to the NFL, because if we don't, I mean, it's fucking sacrilegious. And I got to hear his voice because he might be sleeping on us. Mike Clark, baby, this Sunday, not Saturday, this Sunday. I love how the games are spread out, like we said earlier. Notre Dame, Miami. I have to jump into it before I jump into other stuff, because this talk makes me that's like NFL. That's what's crazy about the college football shit, right? Like it feels so NFL talk shit. Like it's starting to transition of like now we're talking like almost like the same conversation of talking about trades, you know, cap space, shit like that. And that's what we're talking about now with college, which is so interesting. But Notre Dame, Miami, baby. Fun fact: Notre Dame's never beat Miami in Miami since 1977, which doesn't really count because they lost the Orange Bowl and shit. But don't care because Ian Book got his ass whooped the last time they were there, and that shit fucking set me through the roof. I was at fucking theater rehearsal during that, bro. Not a good time. But actually, I was at a show. I had a show that weekend. Man, Notre Dame, same thing as Ohio State. Like, it's actually so ironic how similar Notre Dame and Ohio State are. Like, we lost a lot of guys to the pros. We lost. We also have a lot of young guys that played last year, very similar. Ohio State had a lot of young guys too that were around that just balled out. Injuries, you know, offensive line is supposed to be tougher this year for Notre Dame, but injuries, you got to be ready for those. Notre Dame and Ohio State played with like their second and third stringers against each other offensively for offensive line last year. But man, it just Clark, I don't know about you, man, but it's either Notre Dame wins, they go 11-1 because they lost against Miami, or they go 11-1 because they beat Miami, they beat Texas A&M, but they lose against a Boise State. And that's what kind of worries me. I try not to look too deep in the future as a Notre Dame fan. You got to live in the moment as a Notre Dame fan. That's the thing that makes me hate you Ohio State fans so much, is because you guys do get that privilege a little bit better. Like, that's the conference lifestyle. Like, you know you have certain conference games you can fall into. When Notre Dame plays teams, especially coming off a national championship, especially the random schedule, Boise State wants to beat the fuck out of Notre Dame just out of fucking recruiting, out of name base. You know, it's all brands at that point. Texas A&M wants to beat the fuck out of Notre Dame because what we did to them last year. Like, there's such motivation to beat Notre Dame. And I do worry because the academies are better. And I've heard word that the academies will be even better this year because they have a lot of returning guys. Army lost their quarterback, but Navy's quarterback, that kid from Hilliard's still out there fucking cooking. And let's be real, like Navy and Army were legit, you know, top, you know, I would say 20 to 25 teams, right? Like not anything past that, but they were there. So it does worry me, but, you know, Beck ain't that good, in my opinion. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm a Beck hater. He looks like Sloth from fucking Ice Age. He's an ugly motherfucker. He dates some pretty ass fucking twins that play basketball and college football. I know all about him, bro. I'm up in his shit. You know what I'm saying? And if I ever saw him, bro, like we probably have some good fucking jokes back and forth together. But that kid can eat ass. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of dude you meet. Like that dude daps you up afterwards, and you walk away, and you're like, that guy fucking sucks. You know what I mean? Like you dapped him up though, but that guy fucking blows. You know what I'm saying? But I worry about that with Notre Dame. I really do. I just worry. Just Miami's got like that dumb shit. I hate. Oh, okay. I'm gonna get in my bag. I hate dumb shit when it comes to college football. Like Miami, we're Miami. We got Carson Beck. You're dumb shit. Like you're dumb shit. And if you beat Notre Dame, you're gonna think it's the goddamn Super Bowl. So you're gonna be even bigger dumb shit just for you to lose against Duke. Like that's the only thing that pisses me off here. Like same thing with Northern Illinois. Oh, Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame. Oh my God, you didn't even win the MAC. You weren't even top 3 in the MAC. You weren't shit. Like that's what pisses me off, man. And then we're playing in Hard Rock, and Ian Book's out there talking about how loud. I got so pissed at fucking Ian Book. Ian Book's talking about how Hard Rock was the loudest place I've ever been at. How about you shut the fuck up, dude? How about you shut the fuck up? Their fans barely show up to games, and you're giving them so much reason to show up to games. Your fucking quote is everywhere right now. Miami is all over the place on it. Oh, you think it's loud? We'll make it loud. You want to make it louder? We're going to have the only sold-out game in Miami this whole fucking season. You want it louder? And CJ Carr with his little ass fucking hands out there? Oh my God. And then you know what? I'm just going to say, I'm in my fucking shit. Jeremiah Love, I hope, dude, I fucking love that dude. I fucking love that dude, bro. Notre Dame never gets a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a fucking dude. You know what I mean? Like, top. I've had a guy like that since Brady Quinn. Even Manti Te'o wasn't even that guy. Like, a dog's dog. You know what's going to happen? Week 4, week 5, fucking, we're going to run him for the 30th fucking time that game, and his fucking leg's going to break off. It's going to break off. It's going to look like a goddamn fucking cartoon. It's going to be fucking swinging. And he's got fucking birds around him and shit. It's going to be fucked up, dude. It's going to be fucked up. I'm nervous as hell this year. But at the end of the day, Notre Dame, 12-0, making it to the goddamn playoffs. Get us a goddamn bye. Let's go. We get a bye now with these new rules. We're going to show up as a goddamn 2 seed when Jeremiah Love's going to have a brace on. And we're going to lose. Fuck everybody else. Clark, you still here?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Clark. I had to do that, bro. I'm getting anxious.
You're good,
You just
bro.
woke him up yelling.
Yeah, Mike's in it now. I saw him sticking up the shadow in there.
Old boy dozed off for 20 minutes. You know, Jack, what I really like about what you said is that I don't see enough people talk about the difference between playing a conference opponent and playing a non-conference team. When Notre Dame comes to town, half the games on their schedule, that is that team's fucking game of the. They got that circled in March.
Yep.
You know, like, and every single team, they're showing up to run your fade, man. You better bring whatever you got, because you know they're coming in ready to play. And I just think that's a uniquely Notre Dame thing with the whole independent. And I know a lot of people give you guys shit for that. I love the independence, man.
Money,
It's a dynamic. Yeah, it's a different dynamic. And that's just what it is, man. It's like Notre Dame is going to live in your head all year till that game. Whereas like, yeah, you know, like we were talking Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin plays Ohio State every 2 years. You know, fuck it. Those guys are coming back to town. Notre Dame, you might not play them for 20 years.
Yep.
You know, so it's a really unique situation, and I really like that you said that.
You know, a lot of people don't think about that. You know, they think about our easy schedule, or they think about the losses we get. I've seen some crazy losses. Like, people talk about the Marshall loss a lot, right? Because that was Freeman's probably worst loss by far. Northern Illinois was a bad one, but I guess having such a heartbeat on that team, it made so much sense. Like with Leonard and the whole thing, it just made more sense than Marshall did. Marshall didn't make sense because we played really good against Ohio State. We had a veteran quarterback with, you know, Hartman and that whole thing. That made no sense. But when you watch Marshall in Northern Illinois play, Clark can say this, you can tell within the first quarter if this team's going to give us trouble because they just play hard as fuck. You'll watch a 2-star at Marshall turn into a god because he's like, fuck it, dude. Like I'm trying to, because also the NIL situation. When we play these weird schools, they know if they ball out against Notre Dame, that's their Khalil Mack game. And, back in the day, that Khalil Mack game got you the NFL. Nowadays, it gets you a bag to go play more college football. And that's a big difference that people don't get, man. Clark, man, I want to hear your voice. I've been writing a little tally of who's talking, who's not. I always try to do that to make sure I get people involved. And I haven't heard your voice, dude. Like we said, you got the sweetest voice this side of the Mississippi, man. What you thinking about Notre Dame?
I think they're gonna butt fuck Miami Sunday, and I'm gonna laugh watching them beat them fucking losers down there. That team's been overrated for fucking ever, dude. They were overrated last season, and they actually had a good quarterback. Carson Beck's a fucking loser. I'm glad his car got stolen when he moved down there because he deserves it, and he's probably gonna blow out his elbow again. And Jeremiah Love's gonna have 37 carries for 297 yards and 6 touchdowns, and that's going to start him as the Heisman favorite for the season.
Hey, he's got good odds on Heisman right now. He's plus 3,000.
For a running back, I mean, it's hard.
Yeah,
But he'll make it as a running back more because he doesn't do that power shit like Genty. If he has numbers close to Genty at all, that shit's gonna look crazy. That's highlights on highlights.
It's gonna be a smooth 1,800 yards that looks real good on film.
I think they carry him lightly, and he gets 15 to. I think he's 13 to 1,500 because he shares it with Price. Price is gonna get 1,000
so too. Really, for national championship aspirations, I hope he doesn't have 1,800 yards going into the playoffs. Truthfully,
if he's healthy against Ohio State, it's a different game.
Yeah,
like it or not, it's a different game. And we have the best backfield in the country this year. Finally, I think we do with Price and him. Just because of the yin and yang. Sure, there's other names. I think Penn State's still fucking great, but
those two boys are good.
Their guys are both better than Price. That's the only reason I push back on that.
Oh yeah.
Love's the best back in the country probably this year, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any arguments there. Coming into this point right now, is there anyone that comes to your mind, TJ? I'm looking at you specifically.
No, he's in my opinion unanimous number 1 back in the country.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
that's why I acted that way, baby. That's why you saw me. You're just getting crazy. Anyways, I'm looking at the time. We're trying to go. I had a show earlier, so we're running a little late today. Real quick, I want to go around the table. We did our talk. I could have went deeper on Notre Dame, but I think it's just I'm too fucking superstitious. If I start breaking down, habits and bullshit, it's just always backfires on me. Always has. But I will say I want to go around the table, and I like 2 early predictions. That's what we do in the first episode. We're going to get into that here soon with the NFL as well. But I want 2 early predictions. This doesn't sound crazy, boys, but I want your championship, either your championship game. That's fine. Don't give me the whole bracket. Give me your championship game, your championship winner, and give me your Heisman winner. I want each one of y'all to spread around the table to do it first. You know what? And I'm going to spin the fucking bottle. And I'm going to land it right on Keegan. Me and you got to do 7 minutes of heaven, baby. What do you got to say to me?
God, after that, the comment with the 7 heaven, what the hell we talking about? Are we talking about football right now? Are we in college? Are we in NFL? Where are we at?
Me and you in a fucking rocking in the tree, baby. All right. No, your college football championship and your Heisman.
All right.
Because it's already late, and we got to push some NFL real quick.
Yep.
Oh,
Natty.
who's that, Clark?
Sorry.
You know what?
Go.
Off the top of my head, national championship. I'm going to go Ohio State and Clemson, dude. I think that'd be a fun one. Bring that back. I would love that. That'd be fun. And you know what? I think I might give Clemson to win it, dude. Clemson might fucking win that shit. Freaking, you guys saying the veteran QB, all that. You know what? Let's make it simple, dude. Freaking, what's his name for Clemson? The QB.
Oh, I can never say his last name.
Klubnik.
Yeah.
Klubnik,
whatever.
Klubnik for Heisman, dude. I like it. Whatever. Roll with it.
Honestly, dude, it's crazy because I love how nonchalant Keegan is, but he could be so spot on. You know what I'm saying? Like, Keegan can be so spot on and be like, nah, baby, I know ball. Give me that motherfucker. Like, let's win a ring, baby. Keegan would have had 7 Super Bowl championships in the 70s. He would have. Like, I know that guy can play. I love that shit. All right, let's spin the wheel. You know what? He didn't talk much either right now because he is sleepy and he is tired and his fucking eyes hurt. Michael Clark, how we feeling? What we thinking?
Oh, this is tough. Obviously, I want to say Notre Dame. I know we were just kind of teasing Keegan. I think that's a really great pick, truthfully. Like, that's one of the other teams I would probably put up there. They're very well rounded, great defense. But, of course, I have to go Notre Dame. Heisman winner is going to be tough. I don't really see a quarterback winning it this year. I think we might see something different. I'm going to go with Jeremiah Smith. I
Yep.
don't see Jeremiah Smith winning the Heisman.
I'd love to see a wide receiver, man.
Yeah.
That's electric. That's electric, dude. I'd love when a wide receiver wins it. That's how you know, baby. College football is healthy as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Swear to God, love that. You know what? I'll go around the board. Shit. Let me pick. You know what, TJ? I want to hear you.
All right, man. Shit. So for the Natty, I got to go with my boys. I got to go with the Buckeyes. But I think I'm going to go with LSU. I think LSU is fielding a team of absolute savages on defense.
Yeah.
I
You know
think-
who coaches them, right?
Hit me.
Brian Kelly.
The man.
Manti,
Brian
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Manti almost won a goddamn Heisman under that motherfucker and got blown out in the championship game.
No, man. They got those boys from Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. They got killers on defense, man. And I think the offense is going to be an LSU offense to a T. You're going to have good quarterback play. They're going to run the ball, solid offensive line, top talent at receiver. So OSU, LSU in the Natty. And for the Heisman Trophy, Jeremiah Smith, man. He's the best player in college football. I would dare to say in the last 10 years at any position. He's that good. And I wonder how much more he's going to have to do before we start seeing the double teams like Megatron, with the two gunners right in front of him on the line, because it's getting to that territory with Jeremiah Smith.
If you guys can't run the ball, they're going to do that. That's for damn
Yeah.
sure. Like with your new running backs, I know you guys will run the ball, but if you can't, they're going to do that. That's for damn sure. Man, I love that pick, bro. There's Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Smith, I haven't rooted for Ohio State guys like that since Terrell Pryor. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain guys that are undeniable in my brain that are dogs.
Like, commanding is the word, I think.
Yeah,
Like, they just command the whole game.
You have to be a straight hater to even try to debate it. Eric Wheeler, baby, my big dog.
So I'm gonna go Ohio State Clemson as well, because I think Clemson's the one team we didn't get to do a deep dive on. I won't now because we're running late here. But in most mock drafts, I know it's super early for a mock draft. Clemson has 5 to 6 guys in the first round. So you're talking like top end talent. Like Clemson has it, man. And their schedule is pretty cake. You got LSU this week, and then you'll see South Carolina towards the end, South Carolina towards the end of the year. But they're gonna run through. I think they're gonna run through the ACC. I don't think anyone's gonna give them trouble there. Like I think Clemson could walk to a top 4 spot. This like a bye week in the playoffs this year. Like they could walk to it. So I'm gonna go Clemson, Ohio State, and just because fuck Clemson and fuck Dabo, Ohio State wins it again. Jeremiah Smith for Heisman because Julian Saint gets it next year.
I would have to move away if Columbus wins back-to-back championships. I would. It'd be like I can't even say. I'll say it off. I'll text you guys what I'm about to say right there. I can't even say it right here, baby. Who I would feel like trapped in my house in my attic, hiding from people. Oh my God. But anyways, if you get the notes, you get what I'm trying to say. Shout out Anne Frank. So for me personally, so I love storylines. I'm a WWE fan. I'm a UFC guy. I love storylines. And one thing that's a storyline that's kind of perfectly right in itself, kind of like the way Alabama and Clemson kind of wrote themselves. And we kind of all saw Clemson, Alabama kind of being a thing for a little while during that 3-year stretch. I'm going to say, just like Clark, selfishly, I think Notre Dame can. If the quarterback plays there, especially with the offensive line and in such depth compared to last year, I think Notre Dame could do it. We have a favorable schedule, very similar to Clemson, but we're not tied into our schedule like Clemson. I think Clemson could lose a game, and with that weak schedule, I'm not saying anti-Clemson. I think they're one of the guys that can be in the Final Four for sure. But I think sometimes with that weak schedule, you need to understand a certain responsibility of that weak schedule, and that can get tough. But I'm gonna go Notre Dame and Clemson actually, and the reason why is because Notre Dame and Clemson have like a rivalry thing set up for the next 10 years, and to me, just culturally, money, the whole thing. if Notre Dame and Clemson meet and then they play every year after that, I just feel that in my bones. I really do. I think Notre Dame is going to win, but Notre Dame's probably going to lose. And, we go back to back, silver place. We'll be like a Cal Naughton Jr. from fucking Talladega Nights. If you don't win, how do I win? You know what I mean? And I'm going to be a homer. I want Jeremiah Love to win it. I do. I want a running back to win it. Same reason why I want Jeremiah Smith to win it. I think college football is so healthy when a skill player wins that shit, not a quarterback. But my other guy is if Arch Manning's half of what he says he is and half of what they say he is, the voters and the media are going to make that motherfucker the Heisman. I can easily see Arch Manning, Jeremiah Smith, Jeremiah Love sitting there together. It'll be a beautiful thing. We'll all watch it because they'll show highlights of our guys. And then Arch is going to fucking win it and walk
I'll
away.
be pissed off.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Guess what? Texas is losing against Oregon in the playoff or some shit. And they're not even going to make it. You know what I'm saying, Keegan? There you go. Pump it up. But hey, Keegan, don't pump it up too hard because Notre Dame takes you down. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all those boys. You know what? We're getting late. I knew this would happen because we fucking go hard, and it's the first episode of the year. It's okay. As long as you guys are okay, I'm okay. Now, when we transfer over to the NFL real quick, the reason why we could be real quick is, the season hasn't started yet. But there's a lot of stories, a lot of predictions, a lot of things. I'll just get this out of the way because I know you boys won't talk about it in depth, and I won't talk about it too much in depth. But as we transfer over to the NFL real quick, I really do think that the Niners, in my opinion, if we keep Shanahan this long, which I love him, don't get rid of him. If we get rid of him, we're fucking, I'm going to be scared, right? I'll dare to say we're the new Steelers of the NFC. I will. I do. I think we're always going to be good. I think we're always going to be over 500. And I'm going to start our NFL transition that way because I'm going to get it out of the way. I think we will. I think even with half our players hurt, we're always going to be good enough. I think we're coached good enough. I think Saleh back is huge. Fred Warner's happier than ever. I do wish we had certain guys, on the defense, but we have to pay people, and that's just the way it goes. TJ asked me a good question a while back about Debo and things like that. We're going through a lot of transitions. I still stand by the fact that I love Ayuk, but you better heal up, motherfucker. You better you're going to be the biggest regret I've ever had. I swear to God. I swear to God, dude. Like the fact that you think you can stand on the same ground as Kittle and any of them, Fred. Dude, those boys have paid dues and won playoff games. Like, you've been around the block for a second. Like, I'll rather play Juwan Jennings because they'll put someone in the fucking benches. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude, with all that shit. Even though you look beautiful and your dreads are dope. Or your fucking braids, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. I got long white hair with blue eyes. I'm just going to say that real quick. As I know no one's going to talk about it, I think the Niners will be good. I think we make the wild card. I think we lose. But to me, successful season. I know Eric always talks about it, and I always think about this because I never thought about this, but Eric always brings it up, which is happening to us now. When you're in the middle of the pack, it's kind of worse than being at the bottom. There's no hope. And when you have long contracts with that no hope of guys that aren't going to leave, that are healthy, which you're glad they're healthy, right? But we're going to win games that we shouldn't. We're going to lose games we shouldn't. And we're going to stay where we're at for the next 5 to 10 years. And that's just the way it goes. Yeah.
Yo,
Eric,
Jack,
yeah.
I got a Niners question for you real quick.
Yeah.
Is your boy Pearsall real deal?
In the locker room, he's a fan favorite. I heard at practice, he's a practice player. He's pretty good at practice, but I hear so many things at practice, and then he gets some playing, especially at the end of the year last year when he was actually able to play. It's just, I don't know. I hope that he gets some size on him.
Yeah.
Because that was his biggest deal last year. You can tell that he knew mentally that he didn't have the size. And it affected his route running a little bit down the middle. And if he could sell out like that Julian Edelman style and just sell out, buddy. Your career is only going to be 8 years. Just sell out and you're going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, that's what I'm trying, you know what I mean? Like, you could be that good. But also, you got to keep the offensive line good with Purdy. I think Purdy is always a read passer. He's going to go to his second and third option way more than his first. So if our offensive line's not good, guys like him will not be good and he'll be gone.
He'll be
like,
crushed.
yeah. So it's all up to the offensive line to make sure Purdy can get him the ball. Because Purdy's not going to give you the ball just because he wants to. He's just not built that way. He's not. But I'm not as happy. I'm not mad we paid him. I'm not mad we paid Purdy. I'm not. I mean, it's the NFL, baby. I call it the way like the Lions. Like, there's only so many quarterbacks to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And if your quarterback's winning playoff games, that's your quarterback. Like, it's not even like debated at that point. Fuck finding anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. There's too many extra parts and pieces to this. You know what I'm saying? Swear to God. But as we transition with that, I'd like to hit this on the nose because I know you guys are going to have some things to say. I got to go to Keegan real quick. Keegan, Lions, man. Like, I know we're going to get really hard into this next week with the NFL because it's week one. But how are you feeling, man, with the last couple of years of some letdowns, coaching changes, probably just a bucket full of emotions as a Lions fan that you've probably never faced before. And I've always supported the Lions. You know me because you're my boy, and this is unprecedented in Detroit.
Yeah. Last year it was a heartbreak. There's no doubt about it. We were coming in hot. We were thinking that we were going to go win it all, everything like that. But with the injuries and everything like that, it all caught up with us, and freaking we got embarrassed in freaking that first round in the division. So after that Washington loss, I think I actually have high hopes for this season. I know that we lost our coaching staff. A lot of people are freaking about losing the defense and offense coordinator, but man, the one thing that I really like is I think it's going to get a lot more simpler, especially on offense. And I think with the weapons that you have, you do not have to overthink it. I think there was sometimes, especially towards the end of last year, where Ben Johnson was overthinking that shit or trying to be too tricky. Dude, you got one of the best O-lines. You got one of the two best running backs. You got two best wide receivers, one of the best tight ends. Like, you do not have to overthink that shit. Just do what you guys do best and freaking spread the ball around. You got Jared Goff leading all that. I have no trouble with that. I actually hope that two things mainly. One is we got to have a nastiness and just like we have to show the NFL that we are that team now. You know what I mean? Like, we are the best team in the league. I really feel like that we can say that with the roster that we got. Like, we can be one of those teams that just run it, but we got to really put our foot down this year and establish that. And the big thing, as we all know, we got to stay freaking healthy. If we can stay healthy or have decent backups that come in and help those guys out, that's going to be the biggest key this year. But I'll say this point too, real quick with Detroit. I think you just got to get there. Like, I know before we're like, we got to own the freaking conference. We got to be division North champs. We got to be that and everything, but you don't have to do that this year. Just be good enough to get into the playoffs, even if you got to sneak into a wild card spot, and then just be healthy there and then just dominate and run into the playoffs. You can run it if we stay healthy. And I'm going to say it now, I think Hutch is going to be Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's pissed off with that injury from last year. I think he's going to have the same numbers that he was kind of building towards, but he's going to freaking put an exclamation point at the end of that. And, our offense is going to be electric. I think actually Jameson's going to have a big year this year. I think Jamo's going to freaking go off. But yeah, that's pretty much my take. I think Gibbs won't have as big as numbers as he did last year, just because I think a lot of people are going to key on that just because you have to with us. But God, with that play action and everything like that, I expect big numbers in our passing game.
Oh yeah, no, totally. I guess my NFL stuff just to get going here. I'm not gonna do any of the Brown stuff today because I feel like that's such a long conversation. Maybe we could focus on point that for next week. God knows we could go on for fucking 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in the Bears because I think the Ben Johnson there is just not. There's no way it's not fun to watch because say what you want about Caleb Williams, but that ball of clay to work with is stupid, and they have the receiving talent, especially with that Loveland pick, dude. They just have the talent, and I'm super high in the Broncos too. I think I don't even know if it's a hot take anymore because they've been getting a lot of love, but dude, who they added with Sean Payton, dude, I think the Broncos are going to be on it this year. Very excited to watch the Broncos. And also, a random NFL thing I found on CBS the other day. So the Dolphins travel to Atlanta to play the Falcons week 8 this season. It'll be the first time two left-handed quarterbacks started against each other since week 2 of 2006. When Chris Sims and the Buccaneers faced off against Michael Vick and the Falcons. Isn't that wild?
It is wild, bro. What names? Real quick with that, I know. I'm sorry I missed that. My brother just got home and my piss lasted like 30 fucking seconds straight. Sorry, I need the people to hear that. Keegan, who's your backup quarterback before we keep going? Because Hooker just got released.
Yeah, it's Allen. I can't remember his first name. He was traded from Buffalo.
It's crazy. I thought Hooker was going to be the next deal.
Yeah, we all kind of thought that, but God, he stunk it up, man. This season, especially this preseason, was not good for him. He stunk it up in the preseason. Apparently, at practice, he hasn't been doing too hot either, and sadly, that just hasn't worked out. So we had to release him. I had high hopes for that, but God, since you bring that point up, Allen does not really reassure me either. Like, we cannot get Golf hurt, man, and we really got to get a backup or get something in the future, because gosh, that just worries the hell out of me seeing that.
I thought you guys would be in that Kenny Pickett market. That's the only reason why I brought that up before we get on to other stuff, because I don't want to be too off topic. I just really did. I thought you guys were kind of going to be in that market a little bit. Like, you need, like, when you're at that level, you need your backup to kind of be of that. Like, we have Mac Jones. Like, sure, I do not want to see Mac Jones going out there during a wild card game, but that's a hell of a lot better than a whole lot of other people that can go out there if something happens. You know, I mean, look at Henny saved the Chiefs' career against the Browns. Like, I know you Browns fans don't like that because that was fucking wild, you know, and it's a Miami guy, but like, you need that backup could save your whole season. Like, if something happens, you never know, and you guys just don't have one. I just thought that was interesting. I was like, it's just when you hit the upper echelon, you got to have the backup. That's that's a staple you gain when you hit the upper echelon. Like, you have to.
I'll just say this real quick too, especially what worries me with that is our type of offense too. Like, when you're under center and you got to do the play action stuff or anything, there's a lot of shit that can happen, dude. Freaking guys pulling or something, you just get caught up on your foot or anything, and you got to be good. But Golf's one of the best at it, so I think he'll be all right. But we'll see.
I'm a big Golf guy. Always am. Before we go around the table, start sharing thoughts, doing whatever, we'll definitely talk Browns a hell of a lot more next week. But I loved Eric's pick with the Broncos. I think the Chiefs are kind of sleepy. The Chargers are always kind of hit or miss. And the Raiders, I mean, they're already going through quarterback issues with their backups, different things. Like, I don't know. The Raiders are always the Raiders. And Pete Carroll, if he can coach well, it's kind of like that Bill Belichick thing. Like, if he coaches well, everyone knows they're going to be all right. But Denver's still right there. And Bo Nix, I'm sold on Bo Nix, boys. Like, I really am. I think he's a dog.
And let me run you through the Broncos because I have it written down their off season this year. So they signed Evan Ingram, they signed Greenlaw so Greenlaw joins Alex Singleton, who got hurt last season but was balling for a couple years before he got hurt. They also joins their third round pick Drew Sanders from Arkansas in 2023, and then Jack, how do I pronounce the safety's name from the Niners that they signed too?
Which one?
Hufunga.
Oh no, I can never, dude. I tried saying this. Me and my boy Mike Young, shout out. He's another Niners fan in Columbus. I always talk to about this, dude. We just fucking say whatever the hell we gotta say. He's a stud though. He's a stud.
Hufunga's there, and they add that with Pastertain in the secondary. Their first round pick, Jade Barron, and then they drafted R.J. Harvey, a running back who had 4,500 yards and 42 rushing touchdowns at UCF. School record holder, and they signed J.K. Dobbins in that running backfield too, which I know Dobbins is like, if he can stay healthy, but man, if he stays healthy, that running back room's nasty. And like I said, I just trust Sean Payton. I don't have a very strong opinion of Bo Nix yet, but I just feel like Sean Payton, I just trust him. And then Nix seems like he can run that offense if he can build. I mean, sophomore slump's a real thing too, though, so we'll see. But I don't know. I'm bought into the Broncos. I'm not saying like AFC Championship or some shit, but I'd be surprised if they weren't a playoff team. Like at the
man, I swear. And I love that you said what you said, because that's why I like Bo Nix. If he didn't have Sean Payton, he's just another guy that could be good. But Sean Payton's, I mean, that's a real quarterback whisperer. Like, that's a real one. And if he turned Drew Brees' whole career around, I see similarities with that. And I mean, let's just shout it out. Bo Nix yelling at his coach, that's electric. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you want. You want them to work back and forth. I love that take for – sorry, I'm burping my beers up for a random-ass team. You know what, TJ, I love your voice when it comes to the NFL, baby. I do. I love you and Eric. I go against you guys because I just love my heart too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brain,
bro.
My heart speaks way louder than my brain, but your guys' brain speaks louder than your heart sometimes, and I just want to pick your brain a little bit for the. Just I love any random teams like Eric was saying that's on your eye.
Yeah, Eric totally stepped on my toes with the Broncos.
Damn, that's some
I
big
lo-
ass feet, both of y'all.
I listen, man. It's too early in Bo Nix's career to say I was wrong. I'm going to hold up on that, but I didn't like Bo Nix going into the draft because I thought the system quarterback criticism was kind of real. Oregon has a real habit of kind of designing the entire team around covering their weak spots and really putting guys in a position, to win. So I looked at Bo Nix and I was like, man, I don't know, like if his pro offense isn't as, quarterback friendly as his college offense, then perhaps, he might fall off or he might be a bust. But last year he looked amazing. And I absolutely love the Sean Payton teaming up with a young quarterback dynamic. Honestly, if you ask me, you don't accidentally coach one of the greatest passers of the football ever in Drew Brees. It's not an accident. I don't believe in coincidences. Drew and Sean Payton went hand in hand, and Payton really knows how to build a player, kind of from the ground up. Breeze got to New Orleans with a rebuilt shoulder and kind of feeling down about himself on his second team. He's one of the greatest passers of the ball ever. So really excited to see the Broncos. Shout out Eric, man, for being on the same brainwave. It's bad enough. It's bad enough I look like your evil cousin or some shit. It's about we're on the same
the
wavelength
candlelight.
too, man.
It is bad enough they were both fucking Browns fans, bro.
Yeah, I know, man.
Hey man, I'll go to say I'm gonna lean off of you guys and just say I'm gonna say a hot take here real quick. I think Kansas City can struggle to take the division if Denver and the Chargers are who they're supposed to be. Because the Chargers are in the same kind of spot as the way the Denver is.
I
You have a
wouldn't
young
sleep on the Raiders either.
No, I mean with Pete Carroll even coming in, like there's new blood everywhere. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And like if Genti has anything that he's supposed to have, and Pete Carroll already dominated with a guy like Marshawn Lynch back there, he's gonna call the same offense. And like the only thing is like can Geno Smith continue this streak he's on? That's kind of because let's be real. I always call it the NFL Farmer's Almanac. Like it always repeats itself. And most guys that make a second career out of a place do not make a third career out of another place. Like he made his second career out of that Seattle situation, which is great. And I love Geno Smith. No one throws a prettier ball. If you watch his spiral, dude, that shit. I mean, of course, like the Aaron Rodgers of the world, but dude, Geno Smith throws a fucking ball. And if he could do it at his age, cool. But I mean, that's where you start getting that golf category where it's like, are you actually that guy who can be on multiple teams and do different things? Like, I don't like, can you? You need a like golf could probably. He says this in interviews. If it wasn't for the whole system, he wouldn't be that successful right now. Like, he always pays homage to the coaches and the running backs because it makes his career better. And can the Raiders really define that and do that? Can they? Who knows? But I don't. Who's on the Raiders defense other than Crosby?
Right.
Crickets.
Oh,
Absolute
Tyree
crickets.
Wilson, their first round pick 2 years ago.
And that's the difference between that Denver team. That's the huge difference between that Denver team. And I love talking random conferences like that because to me, I always thought that conference was electric. It really is. They hate each other. They always are. But I'm going to pick some brains. Since we're not getting too much of Browns talk, we're already pushing the time, but I want to push the brain. We have to with the NFL talk. If we're talking preseason, boys, especially with you Brown guys, how do you think your division looks? How do you think the AFC looks based off that? And just your thoughts on that, kind of a broad spectrum, but you know what I'm saying by that. Because how your division looks does affect the AFC tremendously this year. How your division?
I think it's Ravens win the AFC North. That's just I don't think anyone else will. I don't think Cincy's defense is going to hold up, and Cincy just has a tendency to start slow. They just do. I don't know. There's really a way to explain it. Harbaugh's better coach than what's his name? What's the dude's name of Cincy? I always forget his name.
I always forget him, dude.
Zach Taylor. Yes.
He's the one young coach I forget every single time.
I think Ravens win it. and I don't think it's going to be close. Like I just don't think anyone else in the AFC North is going to keep up. I think Ravens can put their foot on their throats on defense on everybody. AFC as a whole, I think it's going to be the same guys up top. I think could emerge. I'm not like my Denver take isn't that they're going to be in the AFC Championship game, but maybe they are, maybe not even win that division because that division's hard to win. It's good coaches and good quarterbacks all over. So AFC, I guess I don't know. Bills, Ravens, I expect to be out there. Chiefs are going to be somewhere in the mix. If they're not at the top, they're going to be 3 or 4. Like Denver will be in the mix, I think. And outside of that, the Chargers maybe, but we still got to see if Herbert has legit weapons and another legit weapon to go besides McConkey out there. But I love the Hampton pick there, but that's full vision there. But yeah, I guess Ravens win the AFC North, and I think in the AFC most of the same teams are at the top again, and then maybe with a fun mix of Denver or somebody like that. But I don't think the AFC is changing up very much anytime soon. I think the NFC has a whole lot more chances to get different teams up there, honestly.
Do you think
the AFC?
Do you think the Chiefs have a chance to fade away this year? Out of all the changes, to me, that is the one change that could be a little bit more prominent on accident.
Reed and Mahomes are too good, man.
Yeah.
When Kelsey actually slows down and stops, it will be interesting to see how they replace that production. And now they don't have Rice for the first 6 games, which will matter, but they did draft Royals. Like they still have weapons. Pacheco will be back healthy this year. And they drafted the Brashard Smith kid that out of SMU that was his combine was stupid. I didn't watch his college tape, so I don't know, but he's just fast as all hell. It's just the Chiefs will find a way to use a guy like that. So I can never hate on him until we actually see it. You know what I mean? Like I just can't.
Yep. I was asking that because that's the way I am. Yeah, that's the way I am. I'm a Chiefs guy until it ain't happening. Like I don't care what. Oh, if it's getting boring or what. This is like NFL Farmers Almanac. There's always a team that dominates a certain decade and they linger around afterwards. That's just what happens, and that's what we're going through right now. We're in 2025. It ain't over yet. The Chiefs will probably win another Super Bowl, but at least like that's just the way it goes. I was just curious to that. TJ, what do you think? Like AFC wise, is there any like standouts, surprises, or are you kind of on the same page as Eric? That I agree with Eric that things ain't really going to change all that much, except maybe. I'm just the only reason I bring up the Chiefs is just kind of there's too much transition happening around them, and not enough transition happening with them. And I believe in Andy Reid. I believe in Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs. I'm not saying they're not going to make the AFC Championship. I just kind of had that feeling that it's finally the Ravens or Bills' turn to kind of someone's going to finally dethrone them before they get to the Super Bowl. And that's not a fall off. That's not like what the Niners are doing right now.
No.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not a fall off.
Like
but
what's their floor? The second round of the playoffs? Like their
like wild card. I'd say wild card's their floor. Wild card's their floor.
Their floor's basically the AFC Championship game, bro. Like that's what their floor's been. So it's just like it's silly to even I don't know.
That's
like,
true. No, yeah.
TJ,
True.
come on, I need your AFC.
Come on, listen, man. I'm gonna use my AFC North time to talk essentially. Listen, man. So I just wanted to say this, man. Every single year, the Steelers make me so fucking mad. I pound my fist against the table and I scream in anger because like these guys draft the most random fucking names I could ever imagine.
Hoodlums.
Yeah, and then so what's the guy's name that they drafted? Is it Yaya Black?
Yeah, Black, yeah.
Bro,
Louisville.
this motherfucker looks like Casey Hampton, like a 10-year NFL vet playing in the preseason. And I know it's preseason, but this dude is manhandling people. And he was like, it's like a team full of creative players where you jack the stats up before your friend comes over and you can, use the better team. I'm like, where do they find these fucking guys that are that all play like 8-year NFL vets out of the box? So that being said, I think the Steelers are tricky, but I think the Ravens run away with it. I think the AFC is compared to the NFC, the AFC looks like a cakewalk. The NFC is just a wood chipper. So Ravens.
Yeah, Black.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell, man?
I'm still laughing.
I was watching tape. I was watching tape on that cat. Bro, this cat looks dominant. And I never heard of bro. And I'm into the draft.
How do you think people say happy birthday to him? Happy birthday, yeah.
Yeah. Man, that shit blows me away, man. And it's a team you have to watch out for. And honestly, Aaron Rodgers, it looks like walking hurts him. So I don't believe in him very much. I'm just worried about the defense, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm so glad to have you on this biz. That just makes dude fucking bringing up Yaya Black is the funniest. That name makes me lose it, bro. Like I just kind of wish it was like a Noah. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not even comfortable enough to say his name.
No, I ain't going there, brother.
We all know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? It's just some shit. Like, can you imagine if Yaya Black was like a fucking white safety? Like, you already know. Like,
Bro.
that just had me losing it. I'm like, bro, I don't even know who this kid is.
He played for Iowa. I thought he played for. I was thinking
No, he played for Iowa. The chances are higher.
Oh man.
Oh my god, dude, you're not wrong though, dude. Mike Tomlin, man, he got an eye for talent, bro. He always has, always will. Like that boy, he sees shit, and like I thought about that. Even like it sucks that guys like Shazier and them couldn't really like he didn't finish out his shit, but there's just even like he just has that edge. Like I feel like every time the Steelers draft somebody, it's like a Steelers guy, and
every single time,
and
it's completely undefeated.
And that's my comparison with the Niners. We do the same thing still. Like every guy we draft always ends up being a Niners guy. Always has that Niners S to him. Ends up playing well. Fred Warner was like a 4th, 5th round pick. Like
the
Ravens. Yep.
Dude, the Ravens are the best drafting team in the NFL, bar none. Like, dude, I'd say I think that's pretty safe to say. And
Ozzie Newsome.
They have such a culture that they built there that they can take a guy like Mike Green and not worry about it. You know what I mean? It's just because it's just like, hey, like this is how shit works here. You're not gonna fuck around.
Yeah, fit in or don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and those guys thrive in that.
They knock it out of the park, and they never get aggressive. They always take the guy that falls to them, and they always end up with some stupid talent that falls to them. Always.
And I'll link that to the NFC. I think if there's anything the Lions got going that people aren't paying attention to, is the Lions are the best drafters in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not even close. Like, the Lions, the Niners, I'd pride myself in being top 5, top 3. Like, we were a great drafting team. Trey Lance, don't count that. But the Lions, if they don't make any aggressive moves like the Niners did, they don't make anything crazy, they're the same thing. They're going to build a whole roster of guys that are just bred for that culture. And you got to either keep up or get kicked off the team. And that's the way it should move. And, like, and I'm not going to loop too much in the Browns, to that type of talk with you guys, because I know how to navigate with Browns fans.
We'll get to it next week, man.
And that's what I figured. But like at least with the Browns, that's the difference. I think the Browns want someone to elevate the franchise. Really good teams want the franchise to elevate the player, and that's where the difference really turns. And I think that's go.
It's consistency in the front office and coaching. Consistency, that's what leads to it. You can't build a culture when you're constantly having to fire coaches, cleaning house with new GMs that didn't draft these guys. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. Building it's changing the culture entirely. That's when you bring up, the Niners, the Ravens, the Steelers, and like even though the Steelers haven't had recent success like those other two teams, that the Bills are doing it right now. Like the Chiefs have obviously done it. It's just how it works, man. It's just to build that you need to have very consistent drafting, coaching, and like. They need to all be aligned, which is why it's so hard to build that culture. Like Keegan, you're seeing Detroit, and like hopefully this turns into a wall thing with Detroit. How long did it take to Detroit's never built this before? That's why it probably feels weird because you're just like it's so consistent, like you almost know what you're getting every week, and it's just like for a team that's been poverty like the Browns for most of their existence, it's just like it's weird because like you can't even imagine operating at a high level like that. Like,
one thing I fucking noticed, man, is you got to give a guy, like, when you get a new head coaching regime, give the fucker 3 to 4 years. Just give him 3 to 4 years. Like,
straight up.
That first year, you got to fucking pull your pieces together. You're trying to get that coaching staff assembled. You're trying to figure out what guys got to go and what guys are going to stay and help build that with
And
you.
coaches.
And coaches, all that. It's everybody. So freaking give the guy 3 to 4 years, let them get, because by year 3, I think you got it pretty much established and you got the guys that you want in there. And then you see where those records go from year 3, year 4. I think at that point, that's more than fair. I mean, I think that's what Dan Campbell did was 3 years.
Now, let me ask this. Now, I am in a lucky spot where I get to. I'm a Lions guy, like way more than Cleveland, always have been. But I follow the Browns the same way. This is where it's interesting. Now, the fact they kept Stefanski as long as they did is such a good thing. Like, it's a coach of the year. That's that's anti-Browns kind of thing to do. That's what you do. But am I safe to say, TJ, Eric, if Clark's still around, surviving in his life, Haslam needs to get his fucking fingers out of the pie completely. Like, if you really want to keep that coach and build that fucking standard. Now, Lynch has his fingers in the pie for the Niners, but that's because him and Shanahan have that agreement. They have that comfortability. They've done it. And Lynch is a former player. He's not an old billionaire. He's a GM. They handle it, not the fucking owner. The owner don't do a goddamn thing about anything to do with the team. And if we've learned anything about, and we'll get into this because Eric, great recommendation. That fucking documentary is actually pretty fucking wild.
Oh, dude,
bro.
I wrote a one-liner to read on the pod later. That from the start
just
of that. Keep on going though. I'll read it
just-
right before we get off. Dude,
but
that
like,
one-liner Jerry had. Oh my god.
dude, like if we've learned anything through that, you cannot have your owner's fingers in the pie. You can't. It's just impossible. You can't do it. Now, I will bring up the Lions in this. The Lions have a really healthy ownership to coaching relationship because they had a transition of ownership and coaches at the same time. So you had Barry Sanders actually get involved, who helping Miss Ford out instead of the old lady run the joint. Like, you had a whole transition of everything. And I truly believe that's the unwritten story of the difference between the Lions and the Browns.
Can I make this point real quick?
Yeah.
Freaking the thing that I liked when Sheila Ford took regime was, and it was with Dan Campbell as he was coming in and everything like that, she basically gave him and Brad Holmes the keys. She said, you two are going to be running the whole show. What do you need me to do to support that? So like, that's basically how she's been from the start. So to have an owner have that attitude and accept that they're not going to be one running the team all the whole time, like, that is so huge, man. I mean, you saw how the Lions were before when we were just money greedy and fucking being cheap and not trying to pay guys and fucking having people leave and all that shit and not paying coaches and freaking drafting terrible, all of it. So freaking to have an owner that freaking buys into your freaking coaches and GMs, that's everything. I think that's why the fucking Eagles have been so good too. I think that them getting that new GM and everything, yeah, it's crazy.
I think the only reason I don't bitch about Haslam more than I do is just because his willingness to spend is literally one of one in the NFL. Like, with this whole Watson shit, like that, we wouldn't be like most of other teams would have been up shit's creek already, like totally. Not kept guys like Miles around, not kept guys like Ward around. And like, we can only do that because Haslam is willing to spend more than any other NFL owner. So like, yes, it only gets intervened, but it's also like the only way I see this team finding success in the near future is if Haslam's still there willing to spend that money to get them out of the hole that they're getting dug into. That's like the only good thing I have to say about Haslam. It's just like the cash spending just changes the way I look at it, because it's just like, hey man, imagine if the Browns are now the fucking Bengals owner, or imagine if Jimmy Haslam had the Bengals. Holy shit! You know how good the Bengals would be right now, because he would have just paid everybody way so early. And it's just that's my only pushback on the Haslam.
That's a great point.
He doesn't need to stop getting involved. I'm just saying, like, it's just for where we are, it's hard for me to imagine another owner just because we need that cash spending.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I the only thing that came to my mind is when Keegan was talking about keeping guys a while, because Stefanski's been there a while. And I feel like one of the reasons why he's been there a while is kind of an underwritten agreement with Haslam that some of the mistakes that have happened to the team aren't really on Stefanski. And him and Haslam have probably had some dinners together where that has been shared and agreed upon, and that's why he's here. And I don't think he's going to go anywhere, even with this next year's team, because there's so many question marks on the team. He still has another year with a mulligan. He really does. He like, let's be real, he really does, with the young quarterbacks and everything like that. It's just the way it is. But you know what? We're getting late. You know what? Before we get into this last little ending here, I just want to say thank you everybody listening. We actually, for everyone listening to or watching or whatever the fuck you're doing, we started this bitch late. We did, and I had a show beforehand, and it's pushing the time. What do we got now? We at 10:40, dude. These guys are some hard-working blue-collar motherfuckers around us right now, and we got all kinds of different motherfuckers too. We got blue-collar with their hands. We got chefs in the kitchen. We got fucking dudes rolling out the rugs, singing the fucking commercials, dude. Fucking having a good fucking time. Man, and we out here busting our ass for y'all late at night. So if you hear everyone kind of dragging out, everyone not dragging, but everyone getting a little tired, everyone getting a little sleepy. Mike Clark muted himself an hour ago. You know what I'm saying? like the shit's been a little goofy today, but we won't do that every time. Most of the time, we'll probably be posting our episodes every Wednesday. I want to try. We'll probably do every Tuesday because it's early enough in the year, in the season, or the week. God, listen to me, getting tired. But also, everyone has their days off. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be doing our thing. But we were trying to get ready for this one the right way. I think we kind of just, we rambled, we talked, we got excited. We're going to learn our shit. We're going to fucking tone it down, have a good ass time at the same time. But we're going to fucking get our way. But before we get to there, I just want to make sure I said that for the people that stood through all the way through this. Or if you fast forward to this point, go fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But before we get to that point, man, I have to do it. We do it every pod. I don't give a fuck. We do it every pod. I don't care how stupid it is. I don't care if people get fucking thrown off. AFC, NFC championship, Super Bowl goddamn winner. This year I'm excited for it because last year I had some hope for the Niners. But now I don't. So now we're going to have a good ass fucking time. So I'm going to reverse the card. I haven't heard TJ's voice in a little while. The pretty voice he has. What we got, baby? AFC, NFC, Super Bowl. You know what? If you want to give me a little sprinkle of the MVP, you go ahead and do that too.
Hey, man. I'm taking a shot, man. I'm saying Ravens, AFC champs. I say the Chiefs fall off, the Ravens take the AFC. Surprise, surprise. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC. Super Bowl gonna be the Baltimore Ravens led by Lamar Jackson and the Buccaneers led by NFL throwaway comeback kid Baker Mayfield.
Wow. Let's go, dude. Who we got?
Who's MVP that season, dude? I got no.
Yeah, Baker wins MVP, bro. I'm bowing.
I was gonna say, I feel like Baker would win it with that shit. Yeah.
Nah, y'all would see me for the last time, man. If fucking Baker, I would ride off into the sunset, man.
I'd be with you, but
I'd be sick.
You guys moved to Florida.
I'm out, man.
Yeah, they got fucking Mike Allstott jerseys on down there
Like
for games.
like the end of Shawshank, I'm gonna be polishing the boat, and Eric's gonna run down the beach. So, oh, hey, you made
He'd be
it.
the last Super Bowl quarterback with 30 interceptions in a season because that would be Baker.
Fucking A.
That's awesome. You know what? The electricity there, that was Ben Franklin style right there, baby.
I got that
fucking love it.
wattage, baby.
I love that shit. That shit had my fucking hair standing up, dude. Oh, that was electric. You know what? To keep that electricity, because I know he brings it every time. Keegan, who we got? AFC, NFC, MVP. Because that's a hell of a follow. Keegan rarely has to follow up a crazy one. That was a good one.
I know. He's having me step up my game, dude. You know what? God, you got me twisted because I wanted to pick Baltimore too as an AFC thing. But you know what, dude? I've always rolled with it in the past. Give me fucking Josh Allen, baby. Buffalo. We fucking figure it out. We fucking beat it again, and we're going all the way to the Super Bowl. Give me Josh Allen.
The Great Lakes Super Bowl. We got Josh Allen, Detroit.
You know it, baby.
Give us the Great Lakes Super Bowl
this year. And then this is going to be the fucking year Detroit wins it, baby. We're going to fucking own it. You're going to see Hutch be Super Bowl MVP. He's going to have fucking 6-7 sacks in that game. He's going to make
Jack
Josh
Sawyer
Allen
return.
Bitch.
Oh, bro, we're going Detroit for the fucking
We're
parade,
going,
dude.
Say, boys, we're going to the parade in Detroit. We're getting fucked up. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be great. Eat Detroit-style pizza, dude. Go crazy. Yeah, you're going to love it. Get used to it. I'm going to fucking be there saying 5 more years of this.
Let's go, baby. Give me the 5P. Come on.
MVP, Jared motherfucking Goff, dude. He's putting it all together, baby, and he's balling out.
Jared Goff wins MVP and Detroit wins Super Bowl. There's a 30 for 30 the next day. The next fucking day, 30 for 30 this Friday. It's gonna be fucking electric, dude. Cleveland, this is for you. It's gonna be one of them bitches, bro. Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. Oh man. Oh, you know what, Eric? Can you up that? What we got? Eric's
No,
got that logical brain.
I'm gonna keep mine basic because I heard too
I'll
Ravens
be
and Bills.
honest,
I'll
dude.
take the
We win
Chiefs
it,
out of the
Jared Goff.
AFC.
You get
Chiefs
that
out of
Jared
AFC.
Goff, I
Pat
might
Mahomes.
get that on my chest.
And then I'll take Philly out of the NFC again. I'm sorry. I think
Philly out of FC.
Philly's too good, man.
Philly's so good, dude.
They're such a young team. They're only going to get better, especially on that defensive side, man. That's scary. How young that team was that just won a Super Bowl. That is honestly fucking terrifying. Like that, I think they're just poised to take it over in the NFC. I think they should. I think a Philly and Commanders like that championship game would be a lot of fun in NFC Championship with those two. If it's the Chiefs, obviously I want it to be the Ravens or the Bills because I just think I'd prefer the Bills because the fireworks in each one of those games just never disappoints. MVP, I'm gonna keep it basic again, Lamar, just because I think there's a case to be made that he got cheated out of it last year. I don't know if I necessarily agree with or disagree with it. Like if you just look at the stats, sure, but I just think Lamar's gonna. Well, that makes sense. Lamar MVP, and then even though Mahomes and Allen's are the one playing for the Super Bowl, So I'll go Chiefs, Eagles, and the Eagles 2-peat.
All right, man. I like that. So I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, go.
Oh no, I was just saying. You go ahead. I got one more thing on the Eagles before we bounce.
Oh sweet, man. I love the Eagles. I really do. And it's gonna be tough for me because I'm a Detroit homer. I am. I fucking feel it in my bones, dude. Keegan knows that. I feel it in my bones. I know exactly what's going on up in that house, dude. I fucking love that fucking joint. And Niners will not be there. This will be the first time in the 3 years we've done this that I don't have the Niners right away in the preseason prediction. And that breaks my heart. That's why we probably will do it. That's the crazy part. But no, I'm going to go Detroit Eagles NFC Championship game. I'm going to shortcut it and say whoever wins that game wins the Super Bowl. I really do feel it. Because the reason why is I think the Chiefs are going to lose early in the playoffs. I think they're destined to. I think they're destined for kind of that Tom Brady losing to Peyton Manning kind of situation that happened. You know what I'm saying? When Peyton Manning capitalized and beat the Bears, I think something like that's going to happen. And the Bills and Ravens are going to be the ones in the final dance. I'm going to give the Ravens. I want to see Lamar in the Super Bowl. That's all. I really think that'll be electric. I think that'll be awesome. I'm going to go Ravens, Lions. And if the Lions make it to the Super Bowl, just like the Browns make it to the Super Bowl, if they ever do, with the right team, right? Lions ain't losing the Super Bowl. If the Lions make the Super Bowl, the Lions are not losing the Super Bowl.
Football gods won't do it to them.
It's just there is so much with that culture of Dan Campbell's done such a great job of embedding that shitty culture they had into his boys in a positive way. It is not left at all. It's there, loud and proud. It's actually louder this year because of the disappointment last year.
Yeah,
And I really do think whoever comes out of the NFC really does slip it away because I think even though the AFC is not a buzzsaw like we were saying about the NFC, I think the AFC top guys fight so hard mentally to beat each other that one of them is going to burn out by the time they get there.
It's a quarterback play in the AFC.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. Is just
And I'm with Eric. Like if Pat Mahomes makes it there, Pat Mahomes has a whole different thing with Andy Reid. If Lamar makes it there with Harbaugh, that's an elite level, but they got to go through so much to get there. I think the AFC, even though they're going to have a clean regular season in a certain way compared to the NFC, I think their playoffs are going to destroy each other. And I think the NFC is so top heavy in a certain way that just like the way the Redskins kind of slid into there, like Eric said,
yeah.
I just think that they're so heavy that either someone slides in and someone guarantees themselves a Super Bowl, or you just have two of the top dogs and they didn't really play anybody before that.
Dude, I mean, you're gonna hate this, Jack, but I like the Rams all off season going to make a deep
Me too.
run.
If Stafford's healthy,
That's the thing. That's the only reason because I've been high on them all off season.
Yep,
like
same.
it just that if he's healthy, he's too good, and McVay's too good of a coach to like write them off in anything like that. Like I think it would be dope to see Stafford win another Super Bowl. I think McVay's really fun to watch coach, but like you said too, like Stafford's injury is too much. You're betting on too much right now with that. Like I know they said it wasn't a big deal. It's like, dude, he didn't practice for like all of preseason practically until this last week and I think even then he was only throwing a couple passes. So and maybe they're just being super cautious. It's just
But it's Matt Stafford, the guy that you can't take out of a game. Keegan knows
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
that's the one guy. Like if he's not playing this whole time, there is a reason. There'd be drama if there wasn't. Like it'd be an argument between him and McVay, or those loud voices today at a practice. I will say though, I like that Rams take because I really do think like the Rams are them and the Commanders are like the two teams that can kind of sneak one against the Lions. And now I love the Lions, but I don't think anybody's sneaking one against the Eagles. You can't sneak the Eagles. I think they're too good. You got to beat them outright, and I think you have to be stacked, kind of like the way Detroit is to beat them outright. You have to be stacked. And now the Rams are stacked that way. That's why I'm saying the Rams are like that third team with the NFC that could be very dangerous in a certain point. Now, the NFC also, you do have the Packers, you do have teams like that, but I'm not sold on LaFleur to ever win a big game. And being tapped in with the NFC, like that's why I do feel for the Niners a little bit to at least have a playoff win or at least an appearance, because there's just people talk about the NFC being a buzzsaw, but to be honest with you, as an NFC fan, I think the AFC is way tougher to get to the Super Bowl. I do, because I think that the Eagles have too many open parts. Hurts is good, but and he could be great, but there's always going to be a question mark. I think the thing that makes the AFC different is you have like 3 or 4 teams that just ain't moving nowhere. Like the
And
Bills,
just got the quarterback and coaches, man.
yeah, they're not moving anywhere. And then like NFL Farmers Almanac, that shit shows, and that shit always wins. And if you at least have the quarterback and coach tapped in, I don't care who got hurt on defense or offense, you're gonna ball. And you know, and that goes with fucking if Goff don't fucking throw fucking 5 interceptions or some shit, like what the fuck was that about? You know what I'm saying? Like I fucking stood up for you, dude. Fucking ass. Fuck you. I think Clarky disappeared on us.
TJ had something to say. TJ, what
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Eagles,
Just-
Eagles, baby.
So real quick, I just wanted to close. I wanted my last my last piece of the podcast to be this real quick. You know, I know we're getting out of here. I just wanted to get a couple
No, you
things
good.
out of the way.
You good?
One, love you fellas. I love shooting the shit with you. It's one of my pleasures of life, man. Y'all some real cats, man. I could talk to you guys any day. And second, my fucking guy of the week, my blue collar cat of the week, man.
Well, let's do that segment.
I just wanted to give a special shout out to Darius Cooper. I learned 3 minutes before we went live that Darius Cooper made the Eagles 53-man roster. He's a wide receiver from Tarleton State who was undrafted, was a 0-star, had no Senior Bowl invite, no combine invite, and had almost 1,500 yards in FCS receiving, which is second in all of college football. This man defied the odds, made the team in one of the best receiving rooms in the entire league. And I wanted my last words to be, shout out Darius Cooper, big dog. You deserve it.
Hell yeah.
That
Hell
was
yeah.
fucking electric, dude. Fucking A, dude. I'm gonna get his fucking jersey now, dude. That's fucking. You know what, man? That's what the NFL is a beautiful game. It is. I always think of like the Ben Roethlisbergers, you know, of Miami, Ohio, or the Fletcher, you know, like fucking he played a John Carroll. That's shit fucking that's you know, we talk about all that college shit in the beginning. Some of that shit don't even matter at all. Like, oh, they have like this and this. Like, oh, they're great. He's great at college football, but in the NFL, some kid at JUCO is ready to fucking come smack some heads and, you know, get paid. Like, get paid. It's money now. I love that shit, bro. What a fucking way to go. You know what? I said it earlier. We were rambling and jambling. We're going to have a fucking smoother podcast next time because we're going to be probably 5 hours ahead of time next time. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to be having a good ass time. I have to do my plugs. I always have to before I give you guys your last little words and shout out. September 13th, come see your boy at Yo Mama Show. It's a Yo Mama Show contest. I'm going to be fucking ripping Yo Mama jokes all over the place, baby. Yo Mama's so ugly, she went and had a baby with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we fucking had a blast. I got that going on. I got some other shit cooking, baby. I'll be announcing that next week because I want to keep it fresh for everyone to get the tickets. It's been a pleasure, boys. Always and forever, dude. We're going to do this shit all year. We're going to learn how to talk through. For those of you that love Mike Clark's voice, because you guys may not know it, he actually has like the favorite voice in this whole group. Like, everyone loves his voice. And, you know, he wasn't here much today, you know. He's fucking, you know, he's fucking 1054. This motherfucker said, fuck off, y'all. What do you expect out of the boy? This is right on brand. Like, this is making the stock go up for Clark. This is right on brand for who he is, baby. This is perfect. And I love him for it. But if I had to say anything for Clark, I'd say fuck Deshaun Watson. I'm working on his house next door. And I'd say
Hey,
fuck
you
Brian
shouldn't put that out
Kelly.
there. What if he does some stupid shit to his house?
Never mind.
For entertainment purposes only.
Disclaimer.
You know what? Clark would want me to say this. Now go fuck yourself, Watson. He's right next door, baby. Come catch the heat. Come on, baby. That's what Clark would want. That's what Clark would need. I'm gonna send him that right away when I edit this shit tomorrow. I'm like, Clark, here's your segment, baby. He's gonna love that. He's gonna say amen and God bless. Go Irish. Come on, baby. All right. As we go around the turntable, you guys got any last words, last things, last prayers? I don't know. What
Boys,
you
we
guys
made it. Football's back.
Football's fucking back.
With all due respect, I hope all your teams win until they see mine, and let's fucking have a season, boys. Go Bucks, go Browns. Let's do it. I'm excited. Thank you guys for having us on again. Seriously, so
Oh
much
yeah,
fun.
we're gonna make this a little smoother next time. That's for damn sure. Keegan, how we feeling, baby? We got any last words?
Oh, feeling great, man. I'm glad we got the pod going again. Great seeing you boys again and talking football. And yeah, man, I can't wait to start watching, see what we got to talk about for next week.
Let's go and go Lions, baby, every week.
Go fucking Lions.
And honestly, upset alert, Montana State. Put your bets on it. Make some money. Pay your boy later. Just because we called it out, the bad voodoo's out there. You know that. You feel bad. Like you're gonna do some fucking dolls out or something. Like Dylan Gabriel, come back. All right. The last thing I'm gonna say is go Jeremiah Love and fuck everybody else. Like straight up. It's not even close. Like, come on. Like my whole mental health is gonna thrive on that young man. It will. It's gonna thrive and it's gonna survive. Shout out to everybody. Peace, love, hugs, and drugs. And this is from the